Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today is a very special guest. Please welcome Nux Taku. How's it going, man?
Yo! Thank you for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's a little bit of a different, I think, environment than you might be used to.
Yeah, less memeing for some reason. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, we can do all of the memes that you want. But I tend to rely on the chat because I'm old. Not quite as good at them. But yeah, so welcome to the show. I'm glad you've come on. I've had so many people say to get you on the show to talk to you. And I had no idea why. But then I checked out your channel, and I think it's just because you're funny is the main reason.
I'll take it. Sure, why not? It's better than other things people have called me, so hell yeah.
Oh, wow. That seems rude, and we're only polite here. But but yeah, so I checked it out, and of course, a lot of my audience, as I was telling you, a lot of my audience is into anime. I kind of grew up watching anime as a teenager, and then got away from it for a while after college, mainly because I moved away from my friends who watched anime. And then got kind of back into it as I've been delving into the YouTube space. So I've got years to catch up on, but
yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. It's kind of weird to see the anime boom grow, because just like when I was in high school, it wasn't, considered the norm, and right now it's essentially mainstream with celebrities talking about the hot new anime of the season.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird to say too.
It's wacky.
When I was in high school, it's like anime was a dark secret, right? Like a murder. You hid it from everybody possible, because otherwise,
it's like doing drugs and watching anime are like both, of the same level.
Yeah, doing drugs was much cooler, and I think carried less risk of death as well. So it's.
You haven't been to my high school.
True. Wait a minute. I heard you convinced your entire high school to play Yu-Gi-Oh!
That's a true story, actually. It was I have to say, I'm very proud of myself for this accomplishment. To summarize in short, essentially, there was this rule. We were playing a lot of very card games that the school didn't love so much, mostly gambling related.
Oh, so, okay. Sure.
Yeah, they were like, okay, no more regular playing cards allowed in the school. Like, that was a new rule. And I was like, guys, listen to this. Just to annoy all the teachers and the principal. We should play Yu-Gi-Oh! Because they're not playing cards. And they're like, okay.
That's the best way to get something done, is for the authority to ban it. And then people will reflexively do it on,
Hell yeah.
That's fantastic. So I wanted to bring you on. I'd asked you back in September to come on, but I didn't really have a topic. And then, of course, a topic that crosses kind of our two worlds came up, and that was Projekt Melody getting banned off of Twitch after a whole bunch of DMCAs came in at the same time, which is a wonderful strategy that people like to use. Yeah.
I've gotten DMCA'd on Twitch as well, so I know the feeling.
What did they say you did, and did you do it? I mean, are you guilty?
Oh, I annoyed a different streamer, so they just claimed my VOD and I got a strike. So then I because the Twitch system is broken. You could claim whatever you want. It's like, I claim that for harassment, and then just take it down and give you a strike.
Oh, that's lovely.
So before even going to Twitch, I just went to that streamer and I was like, okay, I will fight with Twitch, or you could just take it down, and they took it down.
Wow, it was polite of them to do that, but they're super dicks.
No, not really. They would have gotten penalized for false striking.
Oh, is there a penalty system on Twitch for a false strike?
Yes, to some degree. The rules on Twitch are kind of wavy as far as I understand, but for a streamer to false strike, yeah. You don't want to get on Twitch's bad side. Right.
That should be, in my opinion, that should be enforced across every platform. I think that should be written into the DMCA law, that if you false strike, the other guy gets to punch you in the face or something. Because
I like that. Yeah,
because
it's good.
It's ridiculous, right? Like, someone strikes your channel, and then suddenly on YouTube you get a strike, and you can't stream for like 30 days or until the strike is resolved.
Yeah, honestly, so what you're suggesting is a great idea, but it only works for actual streamers or YouTubers where they could get penalized. Most DMCA takedowns are, they're from an anonymous source. It's like someone makes a burner email and just starts striking stuff.
Oh,
honestly,
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Honestly, the biggest issue is YouTube and Twitch both allow the claimant priority. If they claim something, it gets taken down, and then the content creator has to fight it. It should at least go through some level of filterization where YouTube could say, oh, okay, that's not valid.
Yeah, I think they should do it kind of like they do the content ID system, where you get it doesn't get taken down. They put a provisional monetization switch, basically, where they put the monetization in escrow and they hold it, and then you get to do the appeal process. And then if they win, it would take the video down and transfer any monetization to them. And if they lose, you just get your monetization back. I think that's how they should do it on YouTube, and for Twitch as well, for DMCA, because it's ridiculous the burden that it puts on creators.
And it's more than just the monetary thing. One of the reasons why I started steering away from anime content is it got kind of brutal. Like a friend of mine, Anime Uproar, he got 3 copyright strikes within the span of like 2 weeks on his channel, which right now is like 1 million subscribers. At that point, he had like 800,000, and the channel was dead for a month until he can combat one. Like, he couldn't upload. He thought he was going to lose his whole channel. Like, it's terrifying.
Yeah, and if they just the dark secret of the DMCA process on YouTube is that if they just don't respond to the strike or your counterclaim, it eats up the 30 days. Well, and it's like, oh, and then it comes back, but it's like, but that's a month. That's unlimited time.
It's messed up. It's honestly my favorite strike that I ever got. I was humming Despacito in a video and I got a strike. Like, you've got to be kidding me. At what point is that just ridiculous?
Yeah, and then, then of course you have to play Despacito afterwards, after getting the strike, because you can't. You got to move from humming all the way to full on depression. No, I got a content ID claim the other day because I played 10 seconds of a song from Hamilton. And it's I sent the counter notification. I was like, fuck off.
Tell me about it. I made a parody of a song from Hamilton. It got claimed to hell.
Which song?
You'll Be Back.
Nice. I bet it was good. Okay, so let's start. I mean, we're in the DMCA topic, but let's start with Projekt Melody. What I saw was I saw the post that she had been taken down, and you and Projekt Melody are tight, right? Like you're the baby daddy, right?
Definitely not that, but we are close.
I
speak to her very frequently.
I thought I saw that on the stream that you got her pregnant.
The power of memes are a very strong thing.
You should redo The Power of Love with Power of Memes. I
believe in that.
Huey Lewis in the news. Okay, so she gets taken down on Twitch, and then I saw her post, which had the full explanation of how basically she paid a 3D artist to help create some assets for the avatar. I don't know how much.
They created the actual avatar.
Okay, so they did the whole thing, because there was later in the post, she had mentioned that there were certain assets that they were saying she couldn't use, and she stopped using those particular ones. So I didn't know what the deal was on that, but it's not really important. But okay, so they create the avatar. She pays this guy, and then the guy said she offers to pay him for more work, and he says, no, I'll do it for free. And then after a while, looks like he tries to extort a big amount of money out of
like
Melody.
$40,000 a month,
right? just
40 grand a month,
just a month though.
Just $500,000 a year, no biggie.
Look, it's just like the average annual income in South Dakota per month. That's fine. So yeah, tries to extort her for $40,000 a month, and then she says no thanks. And then that's basically when the strikes come, because he says, but she even offered to pay him after that. Said, no, I'll compensate you for back time, right? For the work that you did. And he says no and does the strikes. And so then, yeah, go ahead.
It wasn't like as much of a conversation as you're making it like, oh, he said, okay, 40 grand a month. She said, you know what? No, I'll pay you for that. And he's like, okay, well then strikes. This all happened over the course of like the last 6 months.
Right.
Like of kind of harassment. And she asked me not to like publicize this kind of thing because she was hoping that you turn a blind eye and it goes away.
Right.
And unfortunately it did not.
Yeah. So,
but like to really hammer down to the base point, the dude is a little jealous and very greedy. And essentially, he made her model, which she paid for. It's like me paying for an artist for my avatar or whatever.
Right.
And then she blew up. She blew up and she got into controversies, which made her more popular. And she became an actual meme and everyone was talking about her. She went far beyond. She didn't do Digi's part. Wasn't necessarily all that novel. He created a model. Many VTuber models existed before. She just became the first hentai cam girl, right? And that's what caused the whole meme and the whole ruckus, which got her this popularity. So he basically said, this is all actually because of me. You owe me.
Right, and that's
kind of thing. That's
the funny part with the danger, really, of hiring an artist. But of course you have to. Like, right? I have an artist help me out with all sorts of stuff on the channel because my stick figure drawings of everything. It's like, how do you draw letters in stick figures? I would find a way. But I have no talent in that field. So you have to have somebody help out with these things. If not for lack of talent, lack of time usually. But then they sort of, I guess, they can get the idea that their thing or their contribution is what's making everything work. And it's like, well, I mean, the streamer might have a little bit to do with it.
It might be the personality.
Maybe. But yeah.
No, but at the end of the day, he's in her employ. Just like I have one artist that I work with for like all the thumbnails that I have drawn and whatever. Like I work with this guy and I pay him for his work, of course. And whatever I buy is mine. It's like if I buy a loaf of bread from the store, it's now my loaf of bread. It's true, I'm alive right now because of that loaf of bread, but it's not like I owe you my life because you sold me the bread.
There were other loaves of bread.
This is true.
Even other stores.
Modelers.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's kind of an important thing. And in the chat, if you don't know, I guess the legal concept of this is work for hire. It's basically the default arrangement when you actually hire someone to do work. It's not always a default arrangement when you purchase something that someone has made, but like photographers and stuff, sometimes you don't own the rights to a photo that they take unless you specifically work that out. But if you hire someone to build something for you or make something for you, usually you end up owning the rights outside of specific contract that doesn't. Doesn't
and she actually showed receipts that she had a contract saying that it was completely her IP. Like she completely owned it. Like and he agreed. He just didn't expect it to blow up. And to prove this point, a lot of people aren't aware of this. There's another VTuber by the name of Waifu, YFU. It's pronounced Waifu. And after Melody blew up, he created another VTuber avatar and he hired someone to be the personality for this avatar.
Oh, okay.
So technically, he does own shares in Waifu because that was part of the agreement going into the deal.
Right. In that case, he probably owns all of the work if he's unless there's a specific agreement that the person acting out the avatar gets an ownership stake. I mean, he's paying the same thing. He's paying a work for hire artist to create an artistic representation, and that's in the movement and voice acting if they do the voice acting. But
I mean, I don't know the exact like deal that they had, but if I had to estimate, it was he works on the technological end and the building the avatar, working on maintenance and all that, and she does the actual streams, and they split the revenue. Let's say. Yeah,
and that's a perfectly fine arrangement. It's too bad Digi is regretting his life choices.
Yes, and it was spiraling out of control for the last 6 months. Like, he would message Melody all the time saying, Melody, I made you. You have to collab with waifu to get her bigger.
Oh my god.
Like, it was rough.
Yeah, that's not a thing. And so then, but it seems like Melody has resolved the Twitch issue. She's back on Twitch. Apparently the strikes are gone.
Yep.
Is that like the end of the story? Is this guy still coming after her? What's the scoop?
So this guy, I believe he went dead silent because, well, Melody was completely in the right. That's kind of what happens.
Also, I mean, it probably doesn't need to be overstated, but Melody has a big community and has a lot of support. If that guy's trying to start a fight, he's gonna have an uphill battle, right? Like it's
more than an uphill battle. He doesn't have the legal claim, and he doesn't have the community. Like, right. Melody is beloved by many communities, so
should be beloved by all communities. As far as
I agree. Praise our new waifu overlord.
Did I also see that Melody is back on ChatterBait as well?
But of course, that's her birthing place.
But she was off of it for a while, right? Is that the story, or do I have that wrong?
I don't think she was. I mean, when this all went down, she had probably one of the most stressful days of her life trying to put it back together.
Right.
Which, I mean, aside from just what you see like on the surface level, it was taken down, she had to fight, and she got it back up. The stress of potentially everything you built up on Twitch disappearing at the snap of a finger is terrifying.
Oh, absolutely. Like there's
it's not like Twitch doesn't like her anyway. Like,
yeah.
They banned her before because she's a hentai AI.
Yeah, and just the idea, like, that's a weird part of, I guess, what we do, is that when your job is this, it's like you're temporarily fired when you're banned, and you might have all of the evidence in the world that says I'm in the right, but the platform's the one at the end of the day who lets you back on or not, and you can go somewhere else, but you're rebuilding at that point, and that's horrifying.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like, you could always stream on YouTube if it doesn't work on Twitch, but then this dude can just go DMCA her YouTube as well. It's not like YouTube systems are all that much better. And like, for example, look at someone like Leafy, who was recently banned on YouTube.
Right.
He couldn't rebuild anywhere.
No, he's gone. He's PNG on the internet.
Yeah, everyone fought like, you can't ban people, for like a week, and then it's over. I mean, It's sad, but
and at the end of the day, all YouTube has to do is just not answer emails, and then you're gone forever. No, so I'm really glad to hear that Melody's back up. I have never partaken in Melody's content. I didn't even know about it. I heard about it tangentially, but I'm not a hater. I fully support anybody's endeavors. Like, as long as they're doing something relatively legal, I'm like, go for it, man.
Relatively legal.
Look, I'm not a judge. I'm not a judge. But yeah, so I'm glad to hear she's back up. And it sounds like you were saying Digi's gone silent. When you say Digi, I think of Digibro, but that's not the same person.
No. Okay. No, different person. This is Digi Trev X or something, a 3D modeler.
Okay, you know of Digibro though, right?
Yes, of course.
Oh, okay. I did. I've tangential connections to him, but I don't think I've ever talked to Digibro.
I've had the pleasure of speaking with him, with them on several occasions.
Oh, there you go. Sounds good. I don't know. It just every time I say Digi, I'm like, Digibro. No, not that one.
No.
Anyway, okay. So, but for now, Melody's back up. Everything's running smoothly. Are there any remaining issues that like are going on?
I mean, not yet.
Okay. But
at the end of the day, it wasn't a bug, and the bug was cleared. It was a person, and as long as the person exists, and I don't wish any bad on the guy. I just kind of hope he shuts up.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you never know what'll happen.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll learn the lesson. I think we don't have to reveal any personal information, but I assume since Melody hired this person, she knows roughly like who he actually is, right?
It's worse because he knows who she actually is.
But I mean, for example, if he did false claim Melody and caused like a severe loss of income, like a month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever happened, she would have a legal claim against him, not just like a YouTube claim, but a full-on court claim.
Yes. The truth is, Melody really doesn't want it to go that far.
No,
unlike me, she does not revel in chaos, so she doesn't love that kind of thing.
Right.
But yes. But the issue is, like, once this dude has information, like, that's already blackmail or extortion, potentially.
Yeah. No, I get it, and that sucks. But hopefully he won't be stupid about that, and he'll just let it go. I think anyone who looks at this situation can see he's in the wrong there, and Melody's in the right. So
indeed.
Okay. So I want to transition from talking about Melody's situation into the next logical topic, which this like took YouTube kind of by storm over the past, I don't know, year and a half, it seems, 2 years. I don't know. But at least on my radar was the rise of like VTubers like Melody. This like sort of the anime waifu YouTube personality, or I guess there were a lot of them on something called Hololive. Do I have that? I don't know if I
yes. Hololive is it's like a VTuber agency. It's remember what I was telling you before about how Digi hired waifu?
Right, yeah.
So it's an agency that employs basically it employs personalities.
Okay. So and I could go to Hololive and they'll make me into an anime.
I mean, charismatic man like yourself, I imagine they would be like dancing to try and get somebody like you.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. That'll be my OnlyFans. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so Hololive's like an agency. They employ they help people be anime tubers or whatever, VTubers, I guess.
Yes and no. It's not as simple as that because they want to really own the character. So essentially, you can't just go to them looking for work, and you can build up your own personal, your own personal channel and your own content, and they'll know you as you.
Right.
Like if you want to join Hololive, you blank slate. You're starting from there.
Gotcha. So you don't like. I don't go to Hololive and say, "Hey, I'm Nick Rekieta. You need to make me into an anime," and they're like, "Sure, we'll make the Nick anime." You go in and they're like, "No, you're this guy that we create, and you start from zero," type thing.
Yeah, and okay. they let you audition. Also, they won't just take anyone. And like, there's a big difference between how idols are viewed in the West and in the East. Like, celebrities in the East are like, I don't want to say owned, but you know how like you have these K-pop stars that are like patched up and completely following all the rules of their company. They're not allowed to have girlfriends. Like there are really strict, tight boundaries and that they have to walk across.
Yes, so, and not just the company ones though, right? Like K-pop has very specific rules on like just how much hip thrusting can be in a video.
Yes. Like
and the answer is really, not enough. There's not enough.
Exactly,
hip thrusting.
Never enough. But to really, it's a good transition from Melody to Hololive. There was a Hololive VTuber by the name of Kiryu Coco, I believe, that wanted to collab with Melody.
Oh.
So she was like, "Oh, hell yeah, this is cool. She's a VTuber. I'm a VTuber. We should collab. Easy. Everyone's excited."
Right, makes sense.
But the higher-ups were like, "No, she makes too risque content. You're not allowed to do that kind of thing."
Oh, wait a minute. So, okay. So Melody's like a hentai VTuber, but not all of them are, you're telling me?
No. Melody's the first, which is why Melody blew up like that.
So wait, I thought all of them were lewd, like automatically. I thought that was the point.
They could be lewd. Like they make lewd jokes and, weird sounds and whatever. They stub their toe and they moan for like 20 minutes. I mean, that kind of thing.
Well, so do I, but that's a different thing.
But your moaning isn't as appealing. I don't know. No offense. But like Melody went on actual porn sites, and that didn't exist. That didn't exist until her.
And she this is what killed me. She blew real girls out of the water.
Yes, yes. And then they got upset and they had like this whole backlash.
Yeah, it's like the stereotypical like popular girl cattiness came like right out in full force, claws out, shrieking about Melody. Why do you I'm going to defer to your wisdom and insight. Why do you think that is? Like what about Melody was so attractive to the audience that I mean, if I remember right, when she first hit Chatterbait, or I think it was Chatterbait, she like melted the server basically.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which I guess that's pretty funny, but like what is it? Was it just like all of the concentration of like weeb fans coming into one place? Because you said she's the first one who
right.
did.
I think that is a big part of it. Like there are a million IRL, cam girls out there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But this is novel. So between the novelty and the entire weeb culture having a new queen, I guess, like between those two things, it was huge. And what made it even bigger was the controversy. Like that's why YouTubers get into drama.
Right.
I mean, let's be honest.
Don't tell anyone.
Don't tell anyone. KSI and Logan Paul was probably fake, but hey, shh.
Oh wait. Okay, real quick side topic. Have you do you follow like YouTuber drama at all?
Oh yeah, of course.
Did you see the RV6 thing with Baked Alaska and those guys where they like almost killed that guy just yesterday?
What? I guess not.
I think it was just okay. It's like so the RV6 thing is like it's a bunch of guys and they're on like they're in an RV and they do the IRL streaming, and then I guess one of them got pissed. I don't know anybody in this thing other than I've heard of Baked Alaska, but one of them got pissed at the super drunk guy, and the guy's like passed out in the RV, and the other guy drags him out. And he just conks his skull on the pavement.
What the hell? That's insane.
Yeah,
I didn't hear any of this. When I think drama, I'm like, okay, all right, H3H3 roasted Keemstar for the billionth time.
No, like, this drama is one guy's in jail right now, charged with felony battery, and the other guy is in the hospital with a brain bleed. Like it's really bad.
Yikes! No, I didn't hear about this.
So
where's my boy Scares?
Well, I gotta look into it more. Yellow Flash sent me some stuff about it, and I was like, what the hell are these guys doing? But yeah, that's no. So anyway, sorry, we were talking YouTube drama, and it that. But
no, I didn't hear about that.
That's how that's the whole point of RV6. It's like it's such a ludicrous sort of endeavor. And I think there's some danger to it, right? You escalate the lunacy to keep the audience up, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but audiences love self-destructive behavior.
They do. YouTube, and it's worse than the audience. YouTube loves self-destructive behavior.
Yeah, it does.
YouTube will feed that everywhere. Well, YouTube has basically become where people are broadcasting their personality and what they do, but times 10. Right?
Right. Oh, I have to yell at my kids all the time because they watch I don't know what this guy's name is, but there's some kid in the UK, and I call him a kid. He's probably like 18 or something. And he talks really exaggeratedly and annoying.
Oh no.
And all of
you're not roasting my boy Deji.
I don't know if it's him or not, but it's like him and his mom. And they're always doing really overly.
Oh, you're talking about Morgs.
Is that it? I watched him go buy a McLaren, and I was like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
But
hey guys, it's Morgs here. This is crazy. This is impossible. No way.
You get me. You get me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so my kids like act like that, and I'm like, stop it. That's YouTube. That's not how people act in reality. I don't know if he actually does, but if he does, you can never tell them. Because I need them to not act so dramatically. But
Yeah, it's like for example, as just an easy way to like explain what I'm talking about, how they're overexcited, they're just them to the extreme. It's like, you know, you look at faces on thumbnails and they're always contorted, like blown away, they've lost their mind, and like they're reacting to, I don't know, a TikTok dance or something, and they just like they have their hands on their head and they're just freaking out, you know, wide-eyed, like yeah.
I love it. I actually, that's something that I unironically like about YouTube right now, is how dramatic thumbnails and titles are. It's like, person on Twitter melts down over the Dark Knight. It's like they said like one minor comment.
Watching too much the quartering, man.
Yeah. Shh. I love him. But no, I actually that part kills me. I'm like, why everything is always
in the caps, it like melts down in caps. It's like YouTube. Yeah.
But people click on it because of that. They're like, oh yeah, what did this asshole say on Twitter? Oh,
and then it's something like really really basic. It's like, I didn't like it because the lighting was bad. Right. It's like
SJW can't take bad lighting. Or wait, can't take Chad lighting. Yes. I'm sending my resume to Quartering. I'm gonna write his titles from now on. No.
Hell yeah.
But okay, so back to VTubers though. What okay, so Melody's the first hentai one. Have other ones followed suit, or are they largely staying out of that sort of hentai-ish world?
I don't know of any that followed suit, but I wouldn't like, okay, so I don't know of any that actually stream on porn sites or whatever.
Right.
But like they do sell lewd merch, like, you know, body pillows or whatever.
Do you have a sorry, that's not the right question. Do you sell a body pillow of you is what I was asking.
Not yet, but if there was a market for it, no, I don't know.
Yeah, I guarantee you there is.
I didn't give it enough thought yet.
I've got to sell one of me. I'm working on it. If nothing else, then for me to buy it. But okay, so
if you don't mind me asking, are you drinking scotch, or are you a man of culture and that's bourbon?
This is Eagle Rare, Kentucky,
yes, bourbon,
straight bourbon whiskey.
I do like Eagle Rare.
I like. I didn't know you were a whiskey man.
Bourbon is superior to scotch, and I will fight to the grave on that little fact.
What's your favorite bourbon?
Pappy Van Winkle.
I've never had the pleasure of having Pappy.
Oh man, I went to some party and they had like a 25-year-old Pappy, and I was like, that's in heaven.
Like, yes, I'll have a $300 glass, please.
$300 shot.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I like all of it. I like bourbon. I like scotch. I'm drinking more bourbon now because they have an excise or they have the import tax on scotch, and every bottle went up like $15-$25, and it's like, come on. But no, I've been enjoying it. I also got a Canadian whiskey the other day, but yeah, bourbon is very good.
Canadian whiskey. I don't know. Yeah, well, you mean like a rye?
It is a Canadian rye. It's this Alberta Premium 20-year Canadian rye.
Even scotch is better than rye.
I have a really good rye though. I have the Whistle Pig Boss Hog rye, which is great.
I've never tried it.
It's a pretty worthy rye, but no, if you like bourbon, stick with it.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I just polished off the bottle of Eagle Rare actually. But see, that's the self-destructive behavior I was talking about. The other day I had a stream going and I was like, oh, if you guys hit 1,000 likes, I'll drink. And then at 2,000, 3,000, then suddenly I was at the toilet and it was not good. It was not a good night. But okay, so what, but VTubers are really, really popular. I mean, the Scoreboard thing came out on YouTube. Which seems to be a new thing, but it like actually tracks all the super chats and everything that people get. Have you seen that thing?
I didn't see the actual scorecard, but I know what you're referring to. I think YouTube really took streaming seriously this year, so they're really trying to make it as official as they can.
Right. Did you see the video where the person visualized it though? And
no.
Oh God, there's a video out there, and it shows like the YouTubers and the super chats and everything. And it was fun because like I'm on there for a little bit and like ticking up, and then all of a sudden it's like all these Japanese runes start showing up and just straight to the top. It's like, oh my god, what happened? And it was like the VTuber revolution. I felt like getting guillotined in France. It was not good.
Yeah, okay.
But what is it about VTubers that's so attractive? Like, why do people? They flock to them. They're very popular, but not only that, but they pay them, frankly, a ton of money. Is it simpery or is it something else?
Well, I mean, so 2020 is clearly the year of the simp. I know everyone's saying, oh, there's like all these different viruses and election. No. It's year of the simp. That's the most important thing that happened this year. Okay.
We're all simping for COVID.
I guess if you look at it that way.
we stay home and watch COVID all day. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Well, I think with staying home, a lot of people needed a friend.
Sure.
And streamers are good friends. I don't think that they're necessarily a replacement for real friends, but I mean, I guess you take what you can get under the circumstances.
Careful, remember where you are. No, I'm just kidding. No, streamers are the best friends. We're really tremendous. We're the most beautiful friends. No, but
I agree. That's what I meant to say.
I think there's something to that though. But it seems like, and I don't know if this is true, but it seems to be true that the VTubers get it's something different, and maybe it's the extra barrier of that animated avatar, but it's like it adds like a layer of separation maybe between the parasocial relationship. I don't know if it's like safer for people or what, but it's just so popular. I'm trying to figure out I think
part of it is most of the time when you're watching a streamer or whatever, they're a real person and you know they're a real person. But when it comes to VTuber, essentially they're a character that's alive. Like on the one hand, obviously Gorguda has a real name and has a real life outside of streaming. But not only is no one privy to that, but no one wants that because everyone wants her for the character that she's playing. Like waifus were extremely popular before, and now you have waifus that freaking read your donations. Right,
and they like hang out with you and talk and stuff.
Yeah.
And they talk about whatever you want them to talk about, in a sense. Not necessarily, but you can kind of gravitate towards the topics that you want to hear about, right? Like that's kind of how you can pick your VTuber in a way.
Based on personality, stereotypes,
bust
size, all the important things.
How many of them are guys?
As far as I know, not a lot.
Okay. Because, see, I made a joke the other day.
What was your question? Are there any male character VTubers, or are there any female VTubers played by males with voice changers?
I'm talking about the second one.
As far as I know, not a lot.
Okay, because my growing up on the internet was playing EverQuest. Like that was the big formative time, and you know the rule was there are no women in EverQuest. I mean, sure there might have been, but you'd never meet one. It was always a dude behind the chick avatar, and so but I don't think it's the same way anymore. I think women are much more into the internet than they were, and certainly into this YouTube space. Or I say YouTube, I mean all of sort of the social broadcasting networks. But someone says all of them are guys.
No comment.
But yeah, so it's I don't know, it's a fascinating sort of subject for me watching it. But I wanted to know, I guess, does it coincide with kind of the overarching topic of the discussion, which is the rise of anime in the West, or that anime and hentai, all of it kind of combined? Is that part of the VTuber thing? Are we consuming it, or is it being consumed like in the East and in non-Western countries as well? Like what's the breakdown? I don't know anything about it.
I wouldn't necessarily say that that it's one and the same, but I do think that there's a tremendous amount of overlap between the rise in popularity of anime and VTubers, because VTubers are just the anime characters coming to life.
Right.
So,
okay, so a VTuber now. Okay, help me out. Are they picking existing characters?
No, they are a new character that's birthed into existence.
Gotcha. All right, so you don't have like Misato running around as a VTuber, because that would be
that'd be strange.
Well, I mean, maybe. Maybe Amanda Winley should try it. No, I'm just kidding. She shouldn't. Wait, she wasn't Misato. She was someone else.
I don't know, but she would get in huge trouble from Funimation.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that would not go. I mean, I had like videos on my channel where I get YouTubers to voice dub like really weird anime clips. And in one of the videos, I, you know, Kagi Films?
No.
Alejandro Saab.
I have no idea who that is.
So he's a voice actor. He works with Funimation. He's also a YouTuber. So I got him and he's like, so here's the thing. I can't voice this character because I officially voiced this character.
Right.
So, right?
Yeah. No, so I know some Funimation voice actors, but almost all of them I should say. I don't know them. That's why I'm still alive. But no, they all tend to be around the Dragon Ball sort of sphere for the most part. That's the bulk of the people I know, and that's just because of my coverage of the Vic lawsuit and stuff like that. So, but no, so I don't know who Alejandro is, but. They of course they can't do any voices for a licensed character where it would look like they were endorsing that, or that Funimation was endorsing it. But yeah, so there aren't any licensed characters who are VTubers. You said the anime characters coming to life. My brain got confused for a second, so that's why I was asking. But,
right.
But yes, so it's the anime coming to life. So, but is it part of like the larger cultural shift? I mean, we talked about earlier that when we were younger, anime was kind of a hidden secret, so to speak. Like it wasn't open, and now it's a very popular thing. I mean, we have.
To give you an easy example that documents this kind of thing, around 2015-ish, PewDiePie made a video of something like My Embarrassing Past or something. And he talked about how he is a huge anime fan, and he was so embarrassed that he liked anime. He's just saying this because, like, he thought it would be a funny video, and he's embarrassed of this kind of thing, but because it's like a really cringy hobby or whatever. But he's just gonna say it because why not? Fast forward a few years, he talks about anime all the time. Literally all the time. He just talked about how he watched JoJo's and he makes all these different memes of different anime characters and how he loves Death Note. He made full reviews of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Devilman Crybaby. Like, open anime fan. And that's really how the culture shifted. You could see it plainly through something like YouTube where people are broadcasting themselves.
Right, and especially interesting to see someone like PewDiePie doing it because he's one of the most prominent people on the planet in a weird way.
In a weird way, yeah.
Because it's weird because like my parents don't know who he is, but everybody else on the earth does. So, yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess it is rising. But what do you think? What do you think caused it, and where do you think it's going? Because I guess along with anime comes that other thing, hentai, right? It kind of goes. It's like the dinghy going behind the cruise ship on a rope. It's like anime is just pulling all the naked chicks behind it in the dinghy, waiting for the police to disappear so the party can start or whatever.
Right. Well, I mean, I'd say that hentai and anime are they are definitely one and the same in regards to the rise in popularity, because people, once you could start viewing these cartoon characters as actual characters, because in many anime story. The West has a weird understanding of cartoons in general. Yes. That any cartoon has to be for children, right? Like, oh, Scooby-Doo, SpongeBob, right? Like, it's for children. And anime was never really of that mindset. With older anime, like anime you've mentioned, like Akira, that's not really a kid's show.
It's a very not only in the graphicness of it, it's like the themes going on.
It's deep.
Like I was watching your video and you were talking about how great One Punch Man is, but not.
Man, I love One Punch Man.
Yeah, and you were talking about how like it's really an examination of depression, the inability to move forward or advance. This guy's stuck in limbo. He's too powerful, and that's the joke that gets it there all the time, is that he's just looking for some sort of challenge, and he's absolutely inept at everything else. But he can kick the shit out of anything. And all he's trying to do is find something that sort of stimulates or excites him, and everything else is an annoyance, and he can't. And that is depression. I mean, you wake up and you can't, you don't want to get out of bed. No matter what you can do that's good in the world, it doesn't matter, because that's not, for whatever reason, it's not what you're looking for in that moment. And that's a very adult topic, right? Like an 8-year-old is just looking at One Punch Man laughing when he can't kill the mosquito in the apartment or whatever.
Right.
But
yeah, anime has a lot of adult themes and just adult shows, like really graphic stuff that you can't show kids, even like on a more surface level. I don't know kids that would want to watch Berserk. I don't know if you're familiar.
Yes, I would have, because I watch violent stuff all the time. But yeah, Berserk is. I watched the Golden Arc trilogy, but I haven't delved into the either side of the series.
Yeah, but like even in the Golden Age trilogy, like where you have the entire group massacred and he has to watch while his rival
Casca is defiled.
Right? Yeah, like I don't know, it's not the most child friendly kind of thing. So anime in Japan, it's not viewed as a children's thing, whereas in the West it is. So once people in the West can start looking at anime characters and viewing them just like regular people in a live action film, then what's the difference if you could watch anime characters in a hentai as opposed to live action porn? Like,
right. Yeah, I suppose. I mean, there is some difference. The amount of tentacles is a difference.
You clearly are not cultured in live action porn.
No, wait a minute. How much live action tentacle porn is there?
I would imagine there's a fair amount.
You would imagine, huh?
Not that I have any idea myself.
I'm trying, like, I'm just like, animatronics just aren't there yet. I don't know how much wriggling can occur, but maybe my imagination is just not up to snuff on it.
After all the hair sex in Avatar, you don't know how they're going to go ahead and do
it. Well, that's true. Avatar was weird.
That was weird.
See, but that's the thing. Avatar was uncomfortable for me. But I've seen a little bit of hentai.
Yeah, because you watched it in a movie theater with 100 people.
No, I watched it in my living room. I fell asleep. I'm not a big fan. I was like,
it was very good.
It's like, James Cameron, you need an editor and then maybe a bullet.
And I'm excited for the sequel. It's gonna be great.
There's a sequel?
I think he already has 2 movies that he's planning, 2 sequels.
Oh Christ. I'm less enthusiastic, if you can't tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think you're right, though. It is sort of this idea that other cultures, specifically Japan, has been looking at these characters as people rather than animations for decades. Whereas the US is only catching up to the idea that a character doesn't have to be portrayed by a person to be serious.
And I mean, this is kind of a meme on my channel, but every meme has to stem from reality. Hentai has a much better plot, okay? The plot of hentai is unmatched.
No, wait a minute. I thought plot was just directly related to cup size. Like, I thought that was...
No, that's just surface level plot. You see, when you're watching anything live action, at the end of the day, you know these are actors. When it's, stepbrother and stepsister, you know that hopefully it's not stepbrother.
Right, for the love of God. Oh, thank God they're different. Never mind. I won't finish the joke.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But like when it comes to hentai, these are characters. They're not fake. They're their own individual character with their own personality. It's like you're watching something fictional but real, as opposed to fictional and also fake.
Okay, but what about, so I do know that there is lots of sort of incest hentai out there. I mean, because incest pornography is like I think that's the other 2020 thing, is like the rise of incest porn as a legitimate vehicle.
Honestly, kind of terrifying. I don't know how it got so big.
I saw some theory the other. No, I was gonna say I read some theory like it was all highbrow, but it was actually just a joke in a comment section, and it was that the reason incest porn is so popular is because it's the only porn left where the girl has just the slightest hint of shame on her face.
Wow.
It turns out that my memory was making that much higher brow than it was.
Yeah.
But it's that's an interesting sort of phenomena. But do you think there's like a cultural or a sociological reason that's explainable as to why it's so popular? Or do we just not want to explore it because we just hope and pray it goes away?
To be honest, I think it's just because it makes the scenarios weirder. Like, how many times are you going to click on something just to watch the fight scenes, you know? You want to know the circumstances, the character development. There's so much there that could be unpackaged. And in just regular, 20-year-old girl with her friend in her room. Like, how many, that's been done before. But how often has there been stepbrother watching stepsister get trapped in a freaking, I don't know what, washing machine or something crazy?
All I want to know is, why are all these damn 30-year-old stepkids at home?
The real questions. Clearly a plot hole.
Yeah, go get your own apartment or whatever, you weird degenerates. No, I think there's something to it though. I think there is a legitimate I think there's a fantasy there that's being explored, and it's not a good thing. But when I say there's a I don't know, typical response to hearing the word fantasy where people think it's automatically like a good or maybe a positive thing. But I think, and I'm going to relate this back to a weird news story from a while back. Do you remember the Duggars?
No, I do not.
Okay, they're like a super conservative Christian family with like 17 kids or whatever.
That's it. Slacking.
Yeah, yeah, rookie numbers. So they had a show on like one of those annoying networks, like not HGTV, but something like it, Lifetime or whatever. And it was like 17 and counting. And they're this ultra conservative family. And then the Ashley Madison stuff drops. And one of the older adult sons is on the Ashley Madison website, and that was a big scandal. And then people found out that back when the same kid, the same guy, I mean, I guess he's not a kid, when he was still a teenager, that he had perpetrated on some of his sisters.
That's a
and that the family, rather than taking their kid and putting him in jail, they hired like a therapist to come in and talk to him, and they tried to set up personal safeguards and stuff. But it's like it was a big story for a while, and all I could think of is, I'm a lawyer, I've dealt with some really awful situations, is that I think this problem is bigger than people realize. Not to get like serious with the stream or anything, but I think the idea of like the attraction and even perpetration between siblings is like a bigger thing that none of us want to discuss because it's so damn uncomfortable. And I think that incest porn is like a reflection of that, in all honesty. But I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that, or should we just gracefully move away from this topic as fast as possible?
I would imagine that you're probably onto something. I don't know of the severity. Like, I mean, I have no sisters, but I would imagine there's no normal. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it either. Like, I don't understand it, but I think it is there. And you, again, in my world, and especially on YouTube, as I'm like, I used to have I have a recurring sort of show. I don't do it very often, but it's how to catch and convict a predator. And we'll pull up like a sex offender and go through his federal case.
Well, I do hope to God I'm never featured on that.
Right. But It's only people who actually like go to prison for the thing.
Right.
But yeah, and like when you start breaking it down, like you see just how horrifically broken some people are, and I think incest porn is like a reflection of that and maybe an outlet. But I don't know. This got way
I tend to give things a lot of thought. I credit myself for thinking about things to try to come to conclusions. I have never really given incest porn a thought. I have to say, you opened my eyes. I mean, I'll definitely I'll meditate on it and get back.
Yes, yeah. The next time you're doing your morning sun routine of yoga, meditate on incest porn.
That's right. So what are you thinking about? You seem distressed. Oh, let me tell you.
You don't want to know. Sister, you don't want to know. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, sorry.
I'm glad. It's funny that you brought that up because I do think part of it is because of it's like impossible. It's illegal. Like there's a lot of weird, porn or hentai out there of nuns and like of other possible situations. It might just be the like they're afraid they're gonna get caught, ooh kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the taboo of it.
Right.
It's exhibition.
No, you can't walk me on a leash in public. Someone might see.
Right. You can't drive me around upside down on your rascal with a dildo ramming into me. That's just weird.
Why are you tying me to the roof of the train? Someone might notice.
Oh, damn it. Okay, degeneracy revealed. But okay, so I want to get just kind of wrap up the rise of anime sort of topic, and then there's a bunch of super chats, and I know some of them are for you and some of them are for me, so I'd like to run through those if we can as well.
Yeah, sounds good.
But okay, so anime is busting into Western culture. With it is hentai, and I want to talk about sort of there's like a weird hybrid. Ecchi, right? Is that how you say it? Ecchi?
Yeah, Ecchi. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan personally, unless it's really done flavorfully, like Interspecies Reviewers, which is the best anime of 2020.
I was gonna bring that up to ask you about it, and also I'm supposed to ask you about my anime list. I think is that
you
that
could
a
ask
thing?
me about my anime list. We've become close friends over this past year.
Have you? And is it related to Interspecies Reviewers?
It is, in fact, related to Interspecies Reviewers.
Okay, can you hit me with this story? Because I've heard bits of the story, but I don't know.
It's a fun story. It's
Okay.
a fun story. I wish I would have known you back then. It would have made my life so much easier.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yes. You'll hear the story, and then you'll agree.
Okay.
Basically, there's this anime that was coming out in January. It started. It was the winter season. It was called Interspecies Reviewers. It's about mostly three dudes who go ahead and go to different what do they call them?
Three heroes of culture, right?
Three heroes of culture, the Chads of Chad. And they head from brothel to brothel, essentially trying out different species and then reviewing them.
Right.
And what's fascinating is, like, just as an example, in the first episode, like, the comedy is actual gold. It's really funny. Like, the main character is a human, right? So he's happy to be with an 1,000-year-old elf because she looks like she's 20, right?
Yeah.
And then you have an elf who's in the same party. Like, how can you be with her? She's 1,000 years old. She's so old. Like, I'd rather get myself a young piece. And he, meanwhile, likes this 60-year-old lady, human lady. Okay. Because her mama is so fresh and young. Right? So, and it's a dynamic of all the different races playing with, like, their little weird cliches.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't one of them get disqualified from a particular brothel? Not allowed to participate. And if I remember right, it was like the fairy brothel or something like it.
Too large. It do be like that. So relatable, am I right?
Yeah, I've been turned away from millions of brothels for the same reason.
Yes.
Okay,
so anyway,
yeah.
Funnily enough, I started memeing that, oh my god, Interspecies Reviewers is literally what I do on my channel sometimes. Like, they're literally reviewing hentai. Like,
Right.
that's brilliant. So I made this, and that's how it started. I made this meme that Interspecies Reviewers is the best anime of all time, and everyone should rank it at 10 out of 10 on my anime list. So at that time, it was rated like a 7.
Yeah.
And then in storm, 100,000 Nux Taku fans, and it bumped up to the #1 highest rated thing on all of my anime lists. It had like a score of 9.3 or something.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so,
but they didn't like that at all, right?
No, they did not. I was tampering with the scores, which they didn't like also because I proved that many other series had tampered scores to fit certain agendas, which they didn't love to be exposed.
Ooh.
For example, Chunibyo season 3 score was tampered with because they wanted Vinland Saga to be the most popular of the season. So they ended up like.
So they downvoted?
Right, they downvoted that. Anytime anything would pass, they would immediately downvote it so that FMA could stay at the top. Like, they had a few weird things. So
was as much as you can say without, I don't know if there's any risk or anything, but was my anime list orchestrating this, or was it other parties? Was it like, so Vinland Saga was Amazon property?
I wouldn't say so. I think it was community based. Like, I don't think Amazon.
So like the Vinland Saga community is like, no, we want our show to be the best, so you go and shit on this other show if it passes Vinland, right?
I do believe so. I do believe so.
Gotcha.
But so essentially, this was around the same time as Funimation announced that they were dropping Interspecies Reviewers because it doesn't fall within their guidelines, which made no sense, but that's what they said.
No sense at all. Because they've done things that are way worse than Interspecies Reviewers.
I made a whole video pointing out all the stuff that they made worse than Interspecies Reviewers.
So there's a particular anime they did, and maybe you know it based off of my just shitty description, but I think it involved like underage incestual sort of stuff, and it was like so.
What's wrong?
It was like so bad that like the voice actors were uncomfortable doing it, and like they kind of tried to sweep it under. I don't remember, but yeah. The fact that you have an example of that readily on the tip of your tongue makes me sad because that means there's probably more than one.
Yes, there are like 10. I can think of like 10.
But yeah, so they so personal opinion. I know Funimation said that Interspecies Reviewers didn't fit the narrative or their culture or whatever. What part of it do you think didn't actually fit the culture?
Funny you mention that because I personally believe it was because in episode 3 there were like these gender bender scenes and they wanted to stay away from trans politics.
Yeah, that was the thing where they like took a pill or something and they became the other gender and they got railed by like a dude.
Well, they figured it out. Dudes, chicks, somewhere in between,
Yeah. But the whole like gag of that episode was that they would get to experience sort of the sexual sensation of the opposite gender, right? Like that's.
Yes.
And I think that's actually something that probably a lot of people wonder about. Like that's a whole separate topic, I think.
Yeah, but, I do believe so.
Yeah. Gender pilled. Okay. So you think it was related to the gender episode.
That would be my guess, but I really don't know. That's just a shot in the dark. It's a hypothesis without much weight.
But the way they tried to kind of pitch it was that it was too lewd of a show. That's kind of, it left me with the implication that that's the story they were trying to sell.
That's kind of how it seemed, but they really didn't say anything. Like they just said it doesn't fall within our guidelines, which could mean anything, really.
Yeah. And they held the license though, and they kept the license. So they kept it from even being published in the West. And if I remember right...
You're going to really be surprised about this one. One of my patrons uploaded highlights of Interspecies Reviewers to Pornhub. And Funimation DMCA'd them.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They struck them down.
Hilarious. Yeah.
But they weren't they subs? They weren't dubbed, right?
No, of course not. Dubs didn't exist.
Yeah, so I don't think Funimation actually had the right to DMCA those.
I honestly don't know. I don't know how much licensing power a licensing company would hold over something, even if it's not necessarily changed.
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I have it on pretty good authority. I won't say how good authority. I guess I have it on pretty good authority that Funimation, and this is a problem in Western anime right now. Funimation is the only real dubbing shop in the house. I mean, there are a couple others. Funimation is the big dog, and they've got Sony money behind them.
Right.
They are paying bottom barrel prices for minimum licenses. So if the chat is unaware of this, I don't know if you're aware of how this works. Licensing for a show goes like this. You can buy a full license, and that includes your merchandising rights, distribution rights of subs, dubs, everything, posters, t-shirts, showing at conventions. Funimation doesn't buy those. If you notice, like, for example, Dragon Ball, Funimation doesn't sell Dragon Ball toys. Bandai does, right? Bandai owns the merchandising rights for Funimation. Do you notice that Funimation's branding isn't on Attack on Titan, even though they do the dubs for it? Funimation waits until the very last minute, and there's no competition, and they lowball pitch for a minimum license on these shows. So I don't know for sure on Interspecies Reviewers, but I have a damn good feeling they pitched a limited license to release English dubbed anime in a geographical area limited to their scope of business, right? And that's probably the minimum. I would bet money that DMCA that Funimation did was a knowingly false DMCA. Wow, and I'll only say that because their legal department is a piece of shit. And they can eat all of the dicks in the world.
The truth is, though, that would mean that anytime they really claim a YouTuber, if they don't actually use dubs, anytime that they claim a YouTuber, that's a false claim as well.
It's hard to know for sure, but it very well could be. And I mean, you can actually see this if you notice how long Funimation waits to announce the release of like a new season of something. Attack on Titan season 4, has that been announced by Funimation yet?
I do not know. I know it's starting on December 7th or something.
The dub or the sub is starting?
The sub.
Okay, like the sub has been made right. for a long time on Attack on Titan, and there's no competition for Funimation, so they hold off on buying the license. I had a conversation with someone a while back, and the license for Attack on Titan was still available at the time. Like if I had however many millions of dollars, I don't know how much it costs, but if I had the money, I could have gone in and snaked the license out from Funimation. All right,
Nick, when are we starting a licensing company?
I'm with it. I'm 100% with it, without a hint of irony. Wow. I think. And this is kind of where I wanted to go with the subject, not on you and me starting a licensing company, but the disproportionate power that a guy like you, I mean, you have 1.5 million. Well, no, I apologize. You're at like 1.7 million subscribers, right?
Like 1.6, yeah.
Yeah, that's a shitload of people. That's more people than buy Funimation anime. Like in a real sense.
That's true.
You have, and this shows up with my anime list, and I've seen this on a much smaller scale. For example, I'm friends with a guy named Dick Masterson, and he was making fun of a guy named Maddox, and a guy on his show, Asterios, did a Christmas album, right? And the Christmas album was called Maddox is a Cuck. Or no, it's called Cucksmas Carols, and every song was calling Maddox a cuck to the tune of a well-known Christmas carol. Okay? Very basic, very, very, very just wholehearted comedy. And because he had a dedicated and loyal community, they all bought this thing at the same time. This thing charted on the Billboard 100 list. because
Damn.
of the way that they calculate it. It's week over week sales. So you get week over week sales in the comedy genre. Normally, you're not really breaking the doors open on this, and week over week, you get 20,000 people to buy an album. You've suddenly got a Billboard 100.
That's true.
letter.
That's crazy.
You broke my anime list just by mentioning on your show that people should go do 10 out of 10. What do you think about sort of this idea?
By the way, the reason why I said I might have needed you at that point was because then some of the mods on my anime list wanted to sue me.
For what? What would they?
I don't know. I got a bunch of emails throwing different things, and none of them really held water, so they kind of backed off themselves.
You're right. You did need me, because when I get letters like that, I just send back photocopied middle fingers and maybe accompanied by dick pics or whatever. Because it's like, oh, eat shit, you idiot. You got nothing. But there is, and we've seen this over the course of the past couple years in regards to Marvel movies. YouTubers will shit on something, right? And then a bunch of people are like, oh, this is trash, and they go and they express their opinion in a way where they all had the opinion already. I'm not saying the YouTuber implanted the opinion in the mind of the person, but
I mean, I don't know about implanted, but they definitely cause some sort of bias.
Well, they cause some sort of bias, but at the same time, what they do is they almost give permission for people to go express that thought, right? Like, if someone says, for example, Black Panther is woke garbage, right? And I like Black Panther. That's why I picked it. I thought it was fine. But I
didn't like Black Panther, but continue.
No, and that's
I have nothing against any of the characters or whatever. I mean, it made no difference to me. I didn't find it particularly woke. I just thought it was a pretty, average superhero movie. I
just liked it because it was a hilarious ethno state in the middle of Africa that didn't help the rest of Africa. It was just funny. It's like, wait a minute. Do you guys not see what Wakanda actually is? It's terrifying. Yeah. You won't even go help the poor people starving outside your walls, and you have literally unlimited energy. It was great. I thought that was funny. But so, Rotten Tomatoes comes out, and they clearly had a campaign where Black Panther had to be a perfect film, right? It had to be. Yeah. And so anyone comes out and disses it, we see them coming in to suppress that. But I think that's a result of the fact that popular personalities have the ability to, I'll say it this way, give permission for people to go express their opinions. It's one thing if
you're saying it in many, many words, and I agree with everything you're saying. It's one of my favorite topics, and it's that the mainstream media hates content creators.
They do.
Detest us. It's like anytime any slander can be said at all, they are too eager to jump on that train.
Well, you know why, right?
Of course. You got someone like PewDiePie. He was doing Pew News and covering news topics, and he was the most viewed news show in the world. And he's an individual, so you're going to believe him because he's saying it not from a bias like any news station on the planet, which is biased to whatever politics they want to follow.
You don't even have to go to PewDiePie because he's the biggest, so he's an easy target. But you go to the Quartering, for example, and you've got some beard bro in the middle of Wisconsin outdoing CNN on coverage. That's embarrassing as shit.
It really is.
They have an entry into 50 million homes, and they can't get someone to watch their stupid programming, but the Quartering can get 100 times the viewership 7 times a day. Or Tim Pool, like some little beanie pseudo journalist, as in their opinion. I liked him; he's fine. But some
I never really watched him. I've seen several of the Quartering. I know that he has a nice crush on Brie Larson, but I mean,
only her demented feet. That's the problem with Brie Larson. What happened to Brie Larson, by the way? She went from like a chesty hottie to a resting bitch face, wearing like, I don't know if she tapes her chest now or whatever, but
I have no idea. I don't subscribe to celebrity culture personally. Yeah. I don't believe in it. Like, you got someone like Leonardo DiCaprio who gives a nice speech when he wins some award about how the environment is dying and stuff. Meanwhile, he flies there in a private jet. So it's like, I mean,
with a bunch of 22-year-old models on it.
And that's the private jet. You know how bad private jets are for the environment? Like, oh my God.
Yeah, and for the record, I would certainly fly on a private jet with, with whoever I wanted. It would be great. No, but I think it's true.
And then you wouldn't give a speech like
no,
you did, though.
No, I wouldn't. I absolutely wouldn't. I'd be like, here's what you guys need to do. You need to win one of these dumb awards so you can fly on a private jet too, idiots. Why are you sitting in the audience? Go act.
Wow.
No, but I think places like Funimation and specifically like voice actors, right? Because I've learned something about voice actors over the past 2 years. And that is that they think very highly of themselves because when they go to a convention, like 50 people line up for them. And I say that in a rude way, but I don't mean it in a rude way because most people on earth can't go to a convention, have 50 people line up and pay them to see them, right? Like that's a big ego boost. But then when they come across like someone like you have more viewership on your average show than they have on the average episode by a factor of 10 to 15.
So, funny story. I actually made a video titled "The Most Toxic Anime Fandom: Anime Voice Actors," and I did bring that up. Yeah, because like I was at a con and there was the voice. I'm not going to mention who. It's irrelevant. And there was another voice actor. And that was sitting next to me. We were both doing like signings, like signature kind of things. People came with whatever they wanted to sign and stuff.
Wait, you did an in-person signing?
Yeah, I wore a mask and whatever before it was cool.
Right. No. That okay. So this is cool. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and at the time I had like I don't know 500,000-600,000 subscribers.
Yeah,
maybe. And so my line was. I'm not going to say a little larger.
Look, it blew the brakes off the other person's line. You don't have to say it.
Because I would only spend a few seconds with each person because there were so many people. Like
right.
I would sign it, I'd say hi, whatever. We'd talk for like 30 seconds and they'd leave. But with the voice actor that was beside me, someone would come. He would sign something. He would do a few voice impressions, which he probably wasn't allowed to do. And then he would he would get up, they would take selfies. Like he would spend a good 5 minutes with each person.
Yeah.
And he did not like me.
And you're like I'm sorry. I would voice over some. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, because there was there's like a curtain behind where the signings are. So like during a break or whatever, you go there.
Yeah.
And so he was telling me how he makes anime. He is the anime. I just commentate on it, bro. So I'm like, okay, whatever you say.
Oh God, I have a feeling I know who it is. It makes me sad.
Well, I'm not going to confirm nor deny it.
No, I'm not even going to ask. I'm gonna go with the fantasy in my head of who it is because if it's who it is, when I met him, I like him a lot, but he is a very pretentious person. And no, for the record, I don't think it's Vic. So it's someone else. No. But yeah, no, it's I think that major media companies, no matter if it's news media, if it's just production media, I think they're terrified of guys like you, guys like The Quartering, guys like PewDiePie for sure, Keemstar, like because we have seen YouTubers grab populations in ways that these people can't spend enough money to get. And do it for almost nothing, right? Outside of time, some editing, maybe some art investment, but that's about it. And these guys are producing shows like you think of a CNN news broadcast.
The amount of money that goes into something like that's insane.
It's $1 million to $2 million a day to do it, and they can't. That's crazy. Because you got to think they've got to pay Anderson Cooper for his stupid time. Even though no one really likes him. They've got to pay someone to do his makeup, which is embarrassing. They've got to pay all the lighting and production staff. They have to They have to probably pay people to come on and do interviews. They pay appearance fees. They pay various things for exclusives. It's crazy. And all we do is go and click on, broadcast now or whatever on OBS, and suddenly they're getting demolished in ratings.
My favorite example of this is my boy, the one man that I simp for and will fully admit it.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Voice Critical? Charlie, Penguin Zero?
Yes, I love that guy.
I love him. He's the nicest man on the planet. He's such a special dude. Like, I can't get over how down to earth he is. And like, recently I collabed with him a few times. Like, he's the nicest guy. It's crazy. It's insane.
Yeah, I saw him in one of your thumbnails, and I was I was a little bit jealous. I'm not gonna lie.
You should be. He's a beautiful man.
And and his commentary on Russian slapping. I mean, I can watch the same video and laugh at the same damn joke. It's annoying.
Yes. The way he speaks, his mannerisms. Yeah, I'm like everyone else. I put my pants on one nipple at a time. Yeah, I think it's time to address the elephant in the asshole. Like, every single thing, it just comes out gold. But anyway, enough simping for right now.
That's a good impression, though.
My point was, he turns his camera on and talks for 10 minutes. Basically no editing. He doesn't even make thumbnails for his videos. He pulls in over 100 million views a month on his channel on YouTube. He's
embarrassing.
The top 5 most subscribed Twitch channels. He's a legend.
Yeah. And they have to hate that. Like, because they, you have to understand how much they pay to be on DirecTV so that they can get in. This is we have the opposite model, right? Like, someone clicks on us, and I don't know. I'm sure you've had sort of this conversation. Someone comes up, "What do you do for a living?" And you're like, "Well, I make YouTube videos." And they're like, and they kind of laugh about it. And then you try and explain to them just how hard it is to make someone click a button, right? You go on the street, and
I've developed the ability to not really give a crap.
No, I don't either.
I don't feel the need to explain to people. If they want to complain, they complain.
No, I'm not talking about complaining. I'm talking about people who, like, at first, your first meeting with, they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like, "Well, I'm a lawyer, but mainly what I do is a live show on YouTube every night." And they're like, "Oh, that's kind of weird. You enjoy that?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's great." And they're like, "So what do you do? Just click, you just get on and talk?" It's like, well, kind of. There's a lot that goes into it. But like, explaining to them how hard it is to get someone to go ahead and click that subscribe button. Like, you've gotten 1.6 million people to do something that most people can't get anybody to do. And that's a crazy thing.
It's insane. It's really crazy.
But, like, CNN can't get anybody to do that. What they had to do was pay DirecTV, Dish Network, Charter, Cox Communications, AT&T. They had to go out and pay all of them to have access to people.
Yeah, they're literally invading people's homes.
Right.
And they can't get people to watch.
And, lots of YouTubers make fun of YouTubers who buy subs, for example. That's literally what every mainstream media company has done. They've bought 50 million subscribers through cable packages, and they still can't get more than about 20 to 100,000 people to watch a particular show. It's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think another thing people are scared of, and I meme about this a lot, but I always make the joke that in 20 years there are going to be YouTubers running for president.
Oh, it's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be scary because PewDiePie has 107 million people that push that button. I mean, if he would endorse a presidential candidate, he would win.
Yes.
Literally, his endorsement would change the tide of the war.
I genuinely thought, not to talk about the election this year in its actual context, but there was a rumor for a while that The Rock was going to run in 2020. And I was like, oh my God, he'll win immediately. He'll win. He's too likable.
Well, the thing is, I think it depends also. At the end of the day, I think that the two big political houses, Republicans and Democrats, those two candidates are so much more prominent than someone like Kanye West, who ran independently. I don't really think he had a shot. But if, let's say, PewDiePie would endorse either of those two presidential candidates, I think they would win.
I genuinely think someone like The Rock could win, and I'll use as evidence the way Arnold rolled into governorship in California.
Right.
I mean, and especially if you combine the two dark powers we're talking about, where you take a celebrity status, like imagine, this is going to sound stupid, but if you really want the first woman president, wait till Taylor Swift is 35 and run her, and then have someone someone like a PewDiePie endorse her. She'll win. It's crazy how much sway and name recognition some people do have, and if they start leveraging that, which YouTubers will very much blow out of the water over the next 10 to 20 years, they'll be blowing traditional celebrities out. Like Tom Cruise won't matter.
I do think that is how it's heading. There's just so much more of a personal connection to YouTubers. I think if Logan Paul runs for president in 20 years, he has a shot.
Yeah, especially if he stops being ridiculous. Like 5 years ahead of time.
He had the craziest redemption arc on YouTube.
Yeah.
He went from the most hated person on the platform to someone that people respect his content. That's pretty crazy.
And it's all in if you can sell the marketing plan. And I think right now it's really weird to think about it because every YouTuber has said something that's like sort of horrifying at some point. And that baggage would be brought up in today's race. But what you're talking about is 20 years from now, when literally everyone will have said something horrifying on the internet, and it won't have the same impact anymore.
Well, I mean, even so, both just using this election as an example, both Trump and Biden have said many racist things in the past.
Yeah.
Right?
Things that can be taken as racist for sure. Like whether, you never know what's in someone's head.
Much more eloquently put, yes.
Look, I'm a lawyer.
That's true.
But yeah, I think it's great. I genuinely do. But I wanted to get your opinion on like the validity of sort of this concept of this disparate impact that YouTubers, it doesn't have to be YouTubers, Twitch streamers, whatever, have. Like celebrities have not weaponized fan bases effectively in the way that YouTubers can, and I think it's because of the more intimate level of parasocial relationship we can get, right?
I do think that's the larger part. I do think that also celebrities kind of view themselves as higher tier people.
I think so too. Yeah. Well, and I think of it like someone who has a parasocial relationship with Taylor Swift, we go, okay, that's a stalker and she's going to end up in a garbage bag. Okay, I got it. But someone who has parasocial relationships with a YouTuber doesn't come across the same level of creep, right?
There are stalkers which are scary, but yes.
But for the most part, I'm talking about like your normal viewer can develop like it's not even a friendship. It's more just like, I understand this person because I talk to them all the time. Whereas with traditional celebrities, they're either an actor, so you're getting them through a filter of performance, or they're a musician and you're getting them through this medium of music, and maybe they're a singer-songwriter and you're getting some level of expression from them, but it's exaggerated and it doesn't feel real. Whereas with a YouTuber, a lot of the popular YouTubers right now are literally just talking to people.
Dude, look at Charlie. Look at Charlie.
Yeah.
Voice critical. This dude, 100 million views a month. He can make a video talking about dildos. He'll get 3 million views in the first day.
He did that. he did that. You saw the one where he comes home with a giant dildo, right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch the video. I just saw the thumbnail. I knew it was hilarious.
It was.
But yeah, so what do you think about the validity of the influence that YouTubers and content creators have over these things, these traditional things, Billboard 100, the New York Times bestsellers book? Like if you, honestly, if you put out a book right now, the Nux Taku book on literally anything, and you enter it into a genre of writing, and you release it on Amazon or Indiegogo or whatever, you would outsell 85% of the books that are on the New York Times bestseller list. Even if the pages were blank, you would outsell it. So you would chart on New York Times bestseller list.
Dude, I was actually. I'm glad you mentioned it because I was thinking of the craziest merch idea ever.
What's that?
I wanted to call it the Nux Taku's Guide to Being a Toxic Asshole Online, and it's a thick book with blank pages. Don't do it. Just blank pages.
No, I think you should intersperse like 10 pages secretly in the blank pages.
Somewhere in there, if you see someone, do it first.
But yeah, like, so honestly, like, you make that book with nothing in it. You just get some cover art commission for $100 or whatever, and then you bind the book and you sell it, or you even sell the ebook. You'll outsell 85% of things just based on your audience. It obviates New York Times bestsellers validity. It completely blows it out of the water. There's no purpose to it at all. So what do you think about that? Like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing?
Honestly, I could see it both ways. I do think, in essence, it is a good thing because I don't love how everything is veiled in so many layers of lies in the current climate of media.
I agree. And behind money.
By money. That's clearly the fueling source, right? I mean, you can have literally the same story and you'll hear two different completely fake stories one on Fox and one on CNN. Right? And like, for example, when it comes to YouTube, there's a really good self-policing system. If someone's going to do some heinous crap, they're going to get people are going to call them out on it.
Right, you know? Like Keemstar will do 10 videos and ruin your entire life.
Or the quarter.
I like Keemstar. I'm just kidding. I'm just ripping on him.
Keemstar is the anime villain of YouTube.
Yeah, he's. Well, I covered his lawsuit with Romeo Lacoste, right?
Yeah. Oh.
And that guy, Romeo, buddy.
Damn.
probably stop talking to minors online. Let me just help you. Let me be your therapist for a day. Stop it. And then stop admitting it in your lawsuit. That's why he lost.
Did you ever cover the Deji Kavos lawsuit?
No. What's this?
I guess it's something we could talk about afterwards.
Okay. No, I love to. I love the lawsuits between YouTube personalities. There's a chick named Toddy Westbrook. I know.
Oh yeah.
And she's like,
that's a beauty. That's a beautiful lawsuit.
Right, she's suing everybody, right? Like a bunch of people.
She's getting sued. It's great. It's great.
So I've got to look into this. I don't know anything about it. I don't watch beauty tips on YouTube, so I don't know anything about. I don't know anything. Maybe I should. Maybe I should learn how to put on eyeliner for my shows so I show up better on camera. I don't know. But
I mean, but then there's critical, right? Like he gets rid of that theory.
Yeah, because he doesn't. He doesn't
walk right out of the shower and start recording.
We're getting a little gay for critical here. I think we need to talk about chicks or something.
I simp for him.
Okay, let me read these super chats because there's questions for both of us in here. So I'm gonna run through them. Lord Weebly says Lord Nuxanor and Rackets are the only two creators that I sub to on Patreon and have joined their Discord. You both might have an issue with Funimation, by the way. I don't have an issue with Funimation. I think they have an issue with me. And I don't know why. I'm just a little guy. Cashew Matthew says, all right, since we're getting Nux stream, when is the stream with Drex and Melody? Also, my coworker has the coof. Pray that my test results come back negative, chat. Oh my goodness. Okay. Actually, I didn't ask you this and I meant to earlier. That chat just reminded me. Do you think that Projekt Melody and VTubers rise to prominence has anything to do with the MGTOW sort of movement, or the idea that men are sort of checking out on the traditional idea of a relationship?
I don't think so. I just think that it's another escapist fantasy world that you can kind of imagine yourself being in, hence the simping.
Sure. What about the idea of dolls? Like, you know what I mean by dolls, I assume.
No, what do you mean?
Like, thank you. Like the giant sex dolls that are they're like life size or whatever. I've had Dollhouse Phil on the show a couple times. He's a big distributor of them in the UK, And well, I mean, he distributes globally. He's based in the UK. But this idea, again, like with Dollhouse Phil, you can buy a real anime girl, right? Like, in
personally, I don't think it's healthy for a relationship per se. But again, I'm not basing it off anything. It's just my personal understanding of how relationships work.
What if your real girl is okay with it and also attracted to your doll?
I honestly don't think it makes a difference. I mean, it makes a difference. If she's not okay with it, it's bad vibes. It's really bad. But if she is okay with it, even so, I don't know. I think that 100% attention needs to be given to your partner.
Okay, this is an interesting topic because I didn't think I was going to go here, but forgive me. And if you don't want to get into this area, please, that's perfectly fine. But I guess, how do you fall on the idea of sort of traditional relationships? And I don't mean hetero versus homosexual. I don't mean anything like that. I mean the idea of, let's break it down to monogamous versus polyamorous in the context of an actual relationship, not someone who just is single and likes to root around. Whatever they want to do, that I don't care. But you just mentioned you think you should give 100% attention to your partner. So where do you fall on that sort of thing, and sort of the rise of, I call it the artificial rise or artificial inflation of polyamory in mainstream media?
I personally think that monogamous relationships are extremely important. I think that it grounds somebody. It makes them act. There's a give and take there. There's an actual investment, as opposed to just, throwaway flings. That's just my personal take, I guess.
No, I agree. I agree. And full disclosure, I've been married for 16 years and have 5 kids. So I very much I'm pro monogamy. And I think it weirds me out to see like these pushes for alternative sort of relationships. Because it's not just the idea that alternative relationships exist. I don't care what people do, right? Personally, I don't care. If it makes you happy, I guess, go do it. I have doubts about what'll make someone happy in the long run. But there's almost like a concerted push for that, like everybody is these weird, like fluid sort of lifestyles. Like, for example, my wife and I were watching Dead to Me on Netflix, which is kind of a funny show. But then one of the characters, who has exclusively dated men the entire time, meets a lesbian, and suddenly she's, they're eating tacos at the market, or so to speak. And it's like, wait a minute, this character was never set up as bi. Like, why is that suddenly a thing? And no one in the show questions it at all. No one's like, oh, I didn't, not even innocently.
That's not really like, maybe I misunderstood. That's not really what you were referring to before. I just thought you meant like the healthiness of someone's lifestyle, or honestly, I think it's, as far as mental health goes,
right.
I think it's much more important to have a single focus. And I'm not talking about bad character writing.
No. I'm not either. Well, I'm talking about bad character writing in the microscopic sense, but in the macroscopic sense, it seems like there's a push away from monogamy. I'm not even limiting. Like, I don't care that the character's bi. It was just weird in the sense that they created this character who's exclusively dated the opposite gender, and then when she dates the same gender, no one bats an eye about it. And it was like, well, that was just kind of contrived. I don't care, but it almost seems like I
do think that there is an agenda.
Yeah, it's just weird to me. I don't get it. Sorry to tangent there. Viden the Cold One says, hey Nick, hey Nux, how much of the income of VTubers do you think comes from the attractiveness of their avatar versus their actual content? Secondly, could you kindly tell Melody and Iron Mouse a total stranger said hi? Thanks. What about
I remember, I will tell them.
What about that first question though? That's an interesting question. How much of it?
As far as let's say the debut stream, I think that the how the model looks matters a lot. But as far as staying power, nah, fam, it's all about the personality.
Yeah, but that's a reality of YouTube in general, right? That's not limited to VTubers. A hideous person, not to be rude, but a hideous person like me who goes on YouTube at first.
Hey, don't sell yourself so short, man. What's wrong with you?
I don't want people thinking I'm casting aspersions on anyone else, so I'll take the full brunt. Someone with a nose the size of mine, right? They go on YouTube.
My God, that's all nose?
That's all. There's no forehead in there, baby. That is all schnoz. No. So they go on YouTube, and at first glance, you're like, well, this person isn't pretty. But then over time, like the content might overrule that. But if you show up, and conversely, if you show up, like some super hot chick goes on YouTube or whatever, she's going to get a bunch of views right away, but then it's going to fade off if the content is completely hollow. There has to be a harmonization.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's very similar for VTubing, except being that VTubing is virtual waifus, there definitely needs to be that appeal.
Yeah. I think so. How many, okay, this is a side question. How many holes are appropriate for a waifu pillow?
The more the better.
Like you need like an okay sign with a hand hole in it. Oh my God, I just realized I should do that. That would drive people crazy. Saphias Crescent says Nux and Briggs. Who's Briggs?
Nux and Briggs!
Wait, wrong stream. Nux and Nick. Been looking forward to this collab. Hey, me too. Sakaki
yeah, same here.
Kagi Onsai says, sorry I haven't been around, Nick, taking a break from a project I've been tasked with. Oh, Nevada, you're going to cry. Anyhow, stop being late and noble. Nux. Keep doing what you're doing and have fun. What's noble?
Noble's another YouTuber. When I hit 100,000 subscribers, I made believe I was doing a face reveal, and it was Noble, a different YouTuber.
Oh, Lost Pause or whatever?
Lost Pause, yes.
Okay.
So
gotcha.
A lot of people were like, oh my God, Nux is Lost Pause. So that meme stuck around.
So Sakaki Onsai, but he said late and noble. And now the meme on my channel is I'm late and gay whenever I'm even like a minute late to the show. So is he saying that noble is gay?
I don't think so. I just think it's a cross between memes, but I mean, maybe Noble's gay. Okay, I mean, we can ask his girlfriend. Maybe she has input.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. The legendary Devil Hunter Dante said, Lord Nuxanor, long may he reign.
I agree.
JZ Gaming says, we was weebs and shit. Marty Lund says, what's up, Inspector Flex? Don't you know you can't just point out the fact that German socialists were lefties? Now law-splaining, AOC is going to put you on her gulag list at this rate, Nux. Make sure you get top bunk. Wait a minute. What is the German socialist lefty thing?
Oh, that was basically that I mentioned that Nazism started off as socialism. It's National Socialism.
You went ahead. You went on the internet and said that?
Yeah.
How dare you? Keck7Go. Oh, he wants me to do this in Kermit the Frog voice. I apologize. This is a thing on my channel. I have to do things in Kermit the Frog voice. He says, where my Billy's at, Gawagura is my shark waifu. So there you go. That was
a pretty good Kermit voice.
It's always uncomfortable. I never know what they're going to have me read. Cajun Mike says, most of my favorite anime are all pre-2000. What does that say about me?
That you haven't watched a lot of post-2000 anime.
What's your favorite pre-2000 anime?
Me, personally?
Yes.
I'd like to say Berserk, 1997.
Okay, so that's the original series.
Yeah, although I really did like Yu Yu Hakusho, which is 1992.
That was that long ago?
Yeah. Well, One Piece is 1999. Started.
See, I remember when anime hit Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, would have been late 90s. And they had, Dragon Ball. They had Tenchi. They had, what else did they have?
Sailor Moon?
Yeah, they had Sailor Moon. I always turned it off for Sailor Moon. I definitely did not sit and watch Sailor Moon. That would be embarrassing. Same with Tenchi. I never watched that either. Skeetney. Oh, wait, no. Zako 3TO says, Nux and Briggs, I found Nick through Vic, and I found Nux through One Piece. Been reading One Piece ever since you started the podcast. Nux, keep killing it. You do you.
Hell yeah.
Skeetney says, in the end, though, the greedy artist is worse than a simp because he is simping for a girl that doesn't exist. In fact, anyone who does that. Well, the greedy artist is always worse. Greed is a bad thing. Greed is a bad thing because it eats you up from the inside. I'm not even concerned about the external effects of greed. It's the internal damage that really creeps me out. That's why, like, that Digi guy, I'm like, you got to get off this Melody thing, buddy.
Yeah, for his own sake.
Right, because he's going to let this sit there and eat him up, and he's going to be mad at someone else over the fact that he did work that people really like. Now he's like, well, I didn't get the money. It's like, well, you didn't earn it. In my opinion, because Melody could have failed, and if Melody would have failed, he wouldn't have shared in the failure.
No, of course not.
Bad Vibe says, Nick, I think companies like YouTube, Twitter, Facebook want to avoid a major 230 change. They will find a third party to handle copyright and community standards issues. 230 doesn't have to do with copyright, but community standards, I agree. Copyright as a second safe harbor law. Austin Heartless says, Nux on stream. This is one heck of a birthday present. Hey, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday.
Robert Stratton says, Nux and Nick, you guys should talk about Nux's policy of proportionality, RE trolling versus being wholesome. What is this?
You see, it is a philosophical lesson that I like to preach. We're wholesome to wholesome people and toxic to toxic people. It's the perfect blend, you see.
I fully agree with this. And I express it in a different way, which is fine. But it's that I'm nice to everyone until they're rude to me.
Well, I'm, to be frank, I'm suspicious of everyone until they're nice to me.
Okay, so it's the same principle, but it's mildly reversed.
Yeah, I guess I'm a cynic by nature.
But when I say nice, I'll be polite, right? Like of course. I won't come out and call you fat right away. But the second
you'll give it like
me,
20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. And that's all it takes for them to cross me. And then I will talk about all of the cakes that you eat. Miss Metro Exo Kitty says, hey, Nick, long time no chat. Hope all is well with you and the family. Also, well wishes to the chat. Hey, thank you, Miss Metro. Cesario JPN says, Coco and Hato did nothing wrong. Taiwan #1. Okay.
I'm not fully caught up. I know that the drama exists, but I'm not fully caught up.
This is in regards to HoloTube, right? And Hololive, damn it. That's the bourbon talking. By the way, I switched bourbons a little bit ago, very surreptitiously. I've switched to Peg Leg Porker.
Ooh.
If you ever get to Nashville, without doxing yourself, if you ever get to Nashville, find yourself a bottle of Peg Leg Porker. They have 8 and 12 year. The 12 year is magnificent. It's a bourbon.
I've never tried it. Is it better than Eagle Rare? Because I like Eagle Rare.
I like Peg Leg better than Eagle Rare. It's from a particular barbecue restaurant, and they filter. So they do the bourbon in the charred oak barrels or whatever, right? But then they filter the bourbon through wood chips that were used to smoke pork. So they got a little bit of that smoky pork flavor in the bourbon.
Ooh la la.
It's very, very good. Also, the restaurant Peg Leg Porker in Nashville is great. I recommend it to everybody. It's a very good.
Honestly, I don't know how I would ever find myself in Nashville, but
look, no one wants to find themselves in Nashville, but one of my friends lives near there. Doug TeNapel. He's the guy who did Earthworm Jim. So I've visited him a couple times, and every time I go to his place, I go grab a couple bottles because I live in Minnesota, and that's 1,000 miles away. Okay. Nightmare FD3S says, get Nux Taku's help and get Projekt Melody on the show. It's only No Nut November. I would love to talk to Melody, but that's always weird, like, for me to send someone a message. Hey, by the way, can you send a message to someone else? But if Project...
Melody is extremely busy, but when I talk to her, I could bring it up if it's like Yeah.
If you want to, I would love to talk to her because I'm just curious about like her journey through this whole thing. I think it's really, really interesting. But you know, she's got simps to manage. I'm not gonna get in the way. Also, she's got jiggle physics to perfect, and that is important. George Lopez says a Ricada VTuber with Gentai like Peter Grill would be fantastic. What's a Gentai?
You see, that is the way I like to pronounce hentai, so YouTube doesn't demonetize my video.
Oh, okay. YouTube demonetizes hentai?
It's porn.
God, they're the worst. They're the absolute worst. Who's Peter Grill?
Peter Grill is a man that we do not deserve. He is the protagonist of one of the greatest anime known to mankind, known as Peter Grill and the Philosopher's Time. Highly suggest checking it out.
Okay. Can my kids watch it?
No, definitely not.
All right, I'll watch it late at night. Where can it be found?
You could probably rip it on YouTube somewhere, but there are other sites that you could pleasure yourself with. But if you haven't seen Interspecies Reviewers yet, that's you have to try that first.
I will confess, I have seen the subbed version of 3 episodes of Interspecies Reviewers. Because I was researching for research purposes. Listen, and it's probably your Patreon who uploaded it because it was after it got taken off of. It was after it got taken off of everything. So it was like there was only one place to get it, which was Pornhub, right? So I had to go and. By the way, whoever tried to make me a Pornhub account today, thank you, but it's not necessary. I get an email from Pornhub. I'm sitting next to my wife, right? And I've got my phone open. There's a Pornhub email shows up. It's like, your account is ready for verification. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. So a Ricada VTuber with a Gentai like Peter Grill would be fantastic. Also talk about the My Anime List nonsense for 10 out of 10 rating nonsense. Yes, we did. Feng Shen says, Nick will show feet for $20 a month. Look, I haven't yet, but I will. Talbot Link says, hey, Nick, long time no chat. Hey, buddy. Nux needs to make a body pillow with Lord Nuxanor on one side and Lady on the other. Fully clothed Lady because it's wholesome. Bespidoed Lord for the lulls. So
clearly a lot of thought went into this.
Sounds like you have a solid merch idea.
Oh, yeah.
Ace of Spades says, hey, Lord Nux and Nick, love both of your channels. Nick and Kermit voice, hey there, guys, let's see those billies in chat. Ah! What's the Billy thing? I confess I'm not familiar with the Billy meme, but I've seen it a million times.
The Billy thing started. I do this thing where I raid streamers on Twitch, but like stealth raid them. I basically send my chat into their chats.
Yes.
To say hi politely.
Right.
And the first person that I ever raided, he was a guy, he had like 3 viewers, and then 2,000 people show up in his chat, and he started freaking out. He's like, Billy, get over here, Billy, look at this. And then everyone in the chat started saying Billy. So now whenever I raid anyone, everyone just says Billy.
Well, my live chat is now just Billy. That's all that's all it is.
It will probably be like that for quite a while.
Oh, that's good. I love it. Keck7 Go says, Nux baby, could you invite Nick to your show where you anime pill people and introduce them to high culture, please? And thank you. It would help Nick better connect with the weeb side of his fan base tremendously.
Yes. Well, you know what? Perhaps. I'll get back to you on that one. That's quite a great idea.
It sounds terrifying. I love it. Synac8 says, on the subject such as incest porn, ask him about Loli and Shota. Oh, wait. Before we get to Loli and Shota, I have to ask, Futa, balls or no balls?
You mean how do I prefer it, or does it come with the extra appendage?
How do you prefer it?
I am not a huge Futa fan.
Oh, stop it.
The less dick, the better, so I guess no balls.
No balls. God, why? You gotta have the authentic ball slapping I'm a firm ball.
You clearly don't understand how most futas are created in anime. It's usually some sort of potion where the shaft erupts from an area that didn't have it before.
Look, if a potion can make a shaft, then it better have balls attached to it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, what about Loli and Shota?
Well, what about Loli and Shota? They're kind of weird, kind of creepy.
I don't know. It just says ask him about them. I guess
So I could tell you that in Japan, Loli and Shota are not weird because they don't refer necessarily to underage people. Like, for example, I was talking to Shibuya Kaho. I don't know if you're familiar with her. She's a JAV actress.
Okay.
She was saying that a lot of people refer to her as Loli because she looks young.
Right.
Even though she's in her 20s.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about Loli and, well, the idea of Lolita in general is not that the person is young, but that they look young.
Yes, and I mean, it's been taken to further and further extremes with, like, you have these, like, 4,000-year-old cum vampires that they look like they're 4. And, like, okay, all right, when are we drawing the line here? This is kind of weird.
That's a little much. That's a little much for me. But okay, so in the absent all of the context, what do you think about banning stuff like? Because and I'll break the ice on this one because it's such a weird subject. I don't think it should be made, but at the same time, I don't think it should be banned. I don't want people like consuming pictures of children or people made to look like children. I just think it's not the place I want people to be personally, but at the same time, I'm such like a free speech advocate and First Amendment person that I'm like, I'm not sure I want it banned. I don't want the government to step in. I want culture to step in and decide. Do you want to tackle that one? I know it's a little touchy subject.
Once you're saying that the government shouldn't step in, what should stop them from making it? Just their own personal moral virtues?
I just think no one should buy it. Now, I know people will. I want society to say, I won't buy that, therefore there won't be a market for it, therefore people won't make it.
I mean, that's good in theory, but we're not a hive mind. There's outliers.
Right. No, I get it fully.
As long as that there's a demand, it'll be made.
I agree. That's why, but at the same time, even knowing that, like, I still don't want government to come in and censor it. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I'm not the hugest fan of governments, but yeah, I understand where you're coming from. But depending on how extreme it gets or how it affects people's minds, like as you mentioned before with incest porn, you do believe that the consumption of it causes it to be more normalized, almost to to the point of criminal cases. I can imagine Loli stuff may have similar effects. That's kind of terrible.
I can too, and I'm willing to be persuaded on the idea with some data. The problem is it's really hard to get that data, right? Because
I don't have any data. I'm just spitballing.
No, me too. And so the idea of banning cheese pizza, we'll say, comes from the idea not so much that the child is exploited. I mean, that's a big part of it, but it's that further children will be exploited by the market created by the product. And so I'm willing to entertain the idea of banning Loli and Shota on the grounds that we have data supporting that it needs to be banned because it does put children in danger. I just haven't seen it yet. That's my position.
But like, I'm coming from a lack of actual knowledge. I can't make any claim. Like, for example, the Netflix movie Cuties?
Yeah.
Right. So something like that. There were actual children that were being exploited. So something like that's abhorrent in comparison.
Absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And I had a guy on my show, and he said the most depressing thing ever. It was Chuck Dixon. He said the most depressing thing. He said they'll make more money on the black market selling the audition tapes for the girls than they will on the actual movie. And I went in, I Amazoned Rope right after that. I was like, I'm done. I quit this life. I'm done.
That's scary.
Yeah. Okay, off of that uncomfortable subject. I like the Spike Man says, I side on the side of Charlie, Noble, and Nux. Loli, Shota, and anything drawn aren't real people. Cartoons are cartoons. Put real pedos in the chair. Damn.
I agree, but that wasn't really what we were talking about. Just to clarify,
No.
yes, if someone watches Loli hentai or whatever, I'm not saying, give them the chair.
No. I don't think so either. And that's, but I do think that chairs are too good for pedos. I think they should have to stand on the wall.
Wait, this is obviously post-castration. We agree on.
It depends on when the castration occurs. I think they need to stand the whole time. I don't want them sitting down. That seems too comfortable.
Understandable.
Frederick Little says, glad I got to see some of my favorite YouTube streamers on a live stream together. Nick, your wit and charm mixed with Nux's humor and dumb high IQ make a great stream. Question for you both. What's your favorite anime currently? Do you want to go first on that?
My favorite anime of all time is Gintama.
Gintama.
Yes.
I don't know anything about it.
Most people don't. The things I like about there are many things I like about Gintama. There's great characters, there's great storylines, but it's a blend between the funniest anime has to offer and also the most serious. Like, you'll have some arcs that you will just be laughing your ass off, and then you have some arcs that will make you cry. And it's a blend that I think it's almost a mindset how to approach life. It's like, don't sweat the little things, but when things matter, you need to focus your full attention on it.
Yeah.
And
I think that's a good philosophical approach in general. It's something you learn over years and years of like being battered down by small stuff. It's like,
I thought you were going to say after years of marriage.
No. Well, yes, I did say being battered down by small stuff. So yes.
Wow.
No, because it truly, a lot of people ask me on the various streams about marriage because my relationship has lasted a long time, and people want to find something that does that. Like, we talked about monogamy being so important. I think it really is. I think it's critically important on an internal level for people, and they seek it out. And so part of making a marriage successful is getting over all the little shit that happens, because the person you're living with is going to annoy the hell out of you frequently, like daily. But you have to let that stuff go and focus on the stuff that is really important. Like, you have kids, you have offspring, you have...
And honestly, I think one of the things that's missing in the modern day is a lack of giving. People aren't giving. They're not creating.
Right.
And people are just takers, not givers. And in a monogamous relationship, you have to be a giver.
Yep, 100% of the time. You have to give all the time. And you have to give, you can't like hold back something, I think. Now you have to get to that point, right? Like, it's not like you start dating someone and 2 days later you're like, oh, I give you everything, here's all my money or whatever. But that's called OnlyFans. No, but you have to, you build into that. But that's the part of that sort of monogamous and covenant trust relationship. I think it's really important. Geist X says oh wait, I didn't say my favorite. My favorite anime currently is still, I'm such a normie, it's Cowboy Bebop. I really
You are a normie, but it's good.
But it's just because I'm old and I haven't had time to catch up on all the anime that's out there. I did watch Baki.
Oh, you're gonna compare Cowboy Bebop to Baki?
No, I'm not. I'm not comparing. Okay. That's just the most. That's the most recent anime I watched. But the reason I watched Baki is because I watched the Baki OVA back in like 1998.
Yo.
And I liked the OVA more than I liked the show. It seemed very different than what the show ended up being.
Have you seen Code Geass?
No.
You have to watch Code Geass.
Code Geass. Okay. Someone says, I told you to watch Kengan Ashura, fucker. It's like, Jesus. Okay, it's on Amazon or Netflix or whatever. I'll watch it at some point. But I did love I love Bebop. It hit me at the time. I was probably 17, 18 years old, and my buddies were importing the tapes, like fan subbed from Germany or whatever. and we were watching it. It was just such a magical experience. Is the combination of the show being a good show, and then also the time of life being like such a formative time. So Guy Stack says, 2 of my favorite internet mad lads in the same place at the same time. Fantastic. All hail the king of grifters and Lord Nuxanor. Thank you. Stooge Muffin 7 says, Funimation is full of shit. These are the same people who have the license to Black Lagoon. Second season intensifies. Wait a minute. Is Black Lagoon an anime of culture?
No, Black Lagoon. Okay, there's a common misconception when it comes to how much power licensing companies hold. Black Lagoon doesn't have a second season, but that's not Funimation's fault. That's just the studio in Japan, whatever studio that was, never made a second season. I believe.
Oh, okay.
Right, Black Lagoon. It's about like arms dealers and stuff. It's not that culture, you know.
I have 2 here. Check. I can reach these. So I have Black Lagoon, this one that someone sent me, and I have Black Lagoon, this one that someone sent me.
Nice.
I'm supposed to watch them, and I haven't yet.
They are good.
That's what I heard. I just haven't had time. Ghosty says, "Hey Nux, when is your VTuber debut? You promised."
I'm working on it. What can I say? Apparently a lot of work goes into this. My artist is working with my modeler dude who happens to not be Digi, probably much to your surprise, and we're working on it.
No, it's not actual work. Actually, you just go on and you click go live and then you make money. That's how VTubing happens.
True.
Bad Vibe says, Nick, the general difference between creators versus MSM is MSM is either hardcore authoritarian or against reasonable limitations, the immigration, voting, drugs, etc. Many individuals don't care if you do X until X happens. Exile Sky says, the crazy thing is that a bunch of YouTubers have all been on the receiving end of censorship and manipulative terms of service and abuses of the legal process. I get the feeling they would spell very big bad things for big tech. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Like the stuff that we go through with big tech might shape our perspective on big tech, and we might sort of weaponize audiences against them, I guess.
It's true, perhaps.
But I still wonder if that would be enough to overcome big tech. Get Wrecked says, Billy. Thank you. Bad Vibe says, Bad Vibe says, Nux, I'm bad vibes, and I stay out of relationships. 3 threesome with me will destroy them all. 90% of bad relationships have the same issues as life in general, bad decisions and life choices. Nova Zero says, yeah, Nux Deku. That's not your name. Your name is Nux Taku. Is that a joke or is that a weird autocorrect?
No, that is a joke because Deku is a very popular anime protagonist, and I think he is the worst mainstream shonen protagonist ever written. So
wait, what show is this from?
My Hero Academia.
Oh, so you don't like that?
Well, the show's fine. This character happens to be the worst mainstream shonen protagonist ever written.
Gotcha. Okay. I've never watched it. I have no idea anything about it other than it was supposed to have a really big year this year at conventions, and then COVID happened. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how that's going to go next year. Thanks for coming, man. Could you explain to us why Drexel, Nick's friend, should be watching the best anime of 2020?
I presume that you were referring to Interspecies Reviewers.
Yeah. Why? So, okay. Tell my friend who has an even more normie take on anime than me why he should watch it.
Okay. So, in episode 2 of Interspecies Reviewers, there is an election going on where they are trying to elect a new president, let's say. Okay. And there's a different candidate, not from different political parties, but from different races. Like there's an elf, there's a demon, there's whatever. So the demon race has been trodden upon for far too long. Everyone hates the demons because they're demons, right?
I hate orcs, but I'm down with demons, but I hate orcs. But go ahead.
So the demons, they have a terrible reputation. Like whenever you have, let's say, a human marry a demon, the relationship is terrible, and the demon always like completely takes over and stuff. It's horrible.
Right.
Anyway, the demons decide they figured out a trick. They are going to get the interspecies reviewers to review demons, give them a good rating, and then the people will love them. Anyway, it didn't work out because the reviewers ended up finding minotaurs on the way that they were more interested in at the time. However, they revisit the demon brothel in episode 12. And at that point, when they start to learn about the demons fetishize contracts, make a deal with Satan, like all these contracts.
Yeah.
So basically, if a relationship was built on a contract of the husband saying, I will cherish you forever, will you marry me? Then in the contract, he has to do nothing but cherish her forever. However, if he phrases the contract as, we will love each other and be loyal to each other forever, she will be the ultimate wife. It's all about how the contract is phrased, and demons are misunderstood. So with the power of the interspecies reviewers, we break down an extremely powerful racial theme that exists in today's day and age, and how a lot of it comes from just misunderstandings.
That's
and also
great.
There's, right?
That sounds like demons are just lawyers.
Are they not? What's the difference? I don't know.
Lawyers, I mean, it's like one of those old math questions, like all lawyers are demons, but not all demons are lawyers, that sort of thing. Ike13D says, I'd like it if you both said happy birthday, Nepu. Nepu is pronounced Nepo. Oh, happy birthday, Nepo. Happy birthday, Nepo. Nepo. That's what it says in my parenthetical. So there you go. I hope you like it. I have a string of chats from the Dragon's Treasure. Nux, are you familiar with Dragon's Treasure tea?
I am not.
Do you like tea?
I do like tea, not as much as coffee, but I do like tea.
Okay, so this is a guy, he's been a fan of the show for a while, and he does anime-themed tea.
Bruh.
So you should probably check him out. It's dragonstreasuretea.com, dragonstreasure.com. Shit, I don't remember. Let me read his thing real quick, because he sent a bunch of chats yesterday while I wasn't streaming. He says, we invoke the power of the grift. We are the Dragon's Treasure, a haven for anime and tea lovers. We seek to become a powerhouse in the worldwide anime industry. To hell with humility. We want enough fuck you money to put every social justice pedo and Funimation, Crunchyroll, and the rest of their ilk permanently out of business. Our growth is exponential. We're only $5,000 away from making as much in 2020 as in 2015 to 2019 combined, but we shall need your help. Use coupon code NICK to get 10% off all orders the rest of the month. Spend over $50 and get our special 20-gram thank you tea not sold in our stores for free. Over 100 and we'll upgrade it to 50 grams. This sounds like a Coke deal now. And yes, it's just tea, you degenerates. 5% of all money made will go back to Nick Ricada. Oh, okay. To ensure the flow of growth stays within a positive community. I'm with it. If you do not believe a ragtag group of tea-drinking weebs can make such a drastic change in the next 5 to 10 years, then believe in us, who believe in all of you. And if Mr. Nux wants in on the action, feel free to send us a DM wherever we might be found. Finally, we just released part 1 of our 7-part video series on the epic of Dragon Ball. Let's grow through media as well and overtake the filth that has injected itself into the community that I had been part of for over 25 years. YouTube, The Dragon's Treasure. Our website is thedragonstreasure.com. And if you think you're... Sorry, go ahead.
This sounds like a Game of Thrones speech before running into battle.
It does. It does. And everyone's going to die. It'll be great.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to get a sword in the anus. And if you think you are not a tea drinker, you are wrong. Send us a message and we will do our best to show you the true path with our golden elixirs. Oh, and this part is just for me, so I won't read the rest of it. But yeah, guys, check out thedragonstreasure.com. Really, the tea is fantastic. He has sent me a care package. I will suggest the Dragon's Treasure might want to send a care package to Nux because it's good tea. If you like tea, it's all loose leaf stuff and it's very, very high quality. There you go. Thank you, Dragon's Treasure. Tina says a Nux and Nick stream needs more boing boing. So
if you drink as much bourbon as Nick just did, you'll see boing boing.
Last Vandalier says, what are both of your thoughts on censorship and woke agenda invading video games and anime? Abizilla versus thick waifu. Oh, Abizilla from Last of Us 2. Oh, I got to tell you real quick. I got a community guideline strike on my second channel. for showing the Last of Us 2 scene with Abby and Neil Druckmann. I don't remember.
Are you serious?
And I appealed it, and I said there's no nudity between the two men in this clip. And I won. I won the appeal.
Wow, what a legend. Oh my God, that's beautiful.
Oh, it was fantastic. Oh,
yeah.
God. Okay, but what do you think about censorship and the woke agenda?
Honestly, I just don't like agendas. I'm a big fan of the straight truth. So anything that's an agenda, whether it's woke or otherwise, I am not a fan of.
Yeah, it's like, can you just make the thing that I watch or do, or like if it's a video game, the thing that I play, like instead of trying to teach me a moral lesson about a social issue, like I get if there's a grand moral issue about like, but I almost think that moral lessons in shows and stuff should be ambiguous, that you have to learn on your own. Like it's the consequences of your choices, right? Like that's a grand moral lesson that you can explore in a video game or a movie. You don't have to be preached to about the outcome. But it seems like with social issues, they can't just explore the moral issue. They have to go ahead and take their opinion and shove it right in your face.
Yeah, I definitely know what you mean, which is why something like One Punch Man, like we mentioned earlier, and what it teaches us, it's art. It's an interpretation at the end of the day. It's not like One Punch Man punches a villain explodes, faces the camera, racism is bad. You know, it's like...
And it's similarly not like depression is something that you can like it's not as in your face. It explores like these ideas and themes around depression by decontextualizing it and letting you kind of noodle through these issues in the abstract rather than working through them on their face, where there's a bunch of societal baggage around depression, anything from medication and therapy to just how depressed people are treated when they engage with other people. So I think that's the way to do it, is to take, and that's the whole point of like sci-fi and horror as genre, is to take these ideas out of their context and let us deal with abstract concepts that can relate to multiple ideas. And an example would be like X-Men, right? Like X-Men could have been an allegory for race. It could also be an allegory for gender identity or any sexual identity or any number of other things, because we take out the specific context and just put the context of identity and struggle into scenarios and let people play it out. I think that's the artistic way to do it.
Yeah, I agree.
Joskby says, did you hear about the software called Scorecard? Supposedly it switches votes in the system over to whichever candidate they choose. They apparently use it in the primaries to bump off Bernie. Clearly this election too. No, I haven't. And I will probably look into it and discuss it in a different stream that is more politically based. This one we're trying to stay away from politics because there's been a lot of election talk on the channel over the past week. Whirlwinds 1499 says, second ever super chat. Hey, and it's a big one. Thank you so much. Says, met you and Vic in Kitchener, and it was a great time. First time I ever went to a convention. Also, hello, Nux. Huge fan of your work, and you are a big inspiration for me. Thank you both for this collab, and keep up the great work. You two grift and flex.
Yo, thank you.
Look, I am disappointed. I heard you were going to flex on me within the first 2 minutes, and I don't know what that means, but I don't know if it happened either.
It did not happen. It's not what I signed up for here.
Well, I feel left out. So
We've united to face a common adversary. I like to think of that. It's so wholesome.
Well, you got to find something to flex on me, so I feel included. Inclusion is important in 2020, Nux. Don't you know this? Anime Reverie says Black Lagoon has a second season called The Second Barrage, plus a third in the OVA. Roberta's Blood Trail. The next arc was just completed, and the fourth arc just started. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I knew there was an OVA. Didn't realize there was a whole second season.
I have no idea anything about it. Stooge Muffin Stuff, it says Black Lagoon has 3 seasons. The first season, Second Barrage, and Roberta's Blood Trail. Call Me Mocha says, hey, Nick, first time sending a super chat ever. Hey, thank you. You and Nux should both watch Symphogear, a very unrated anime from 2012 that is basically Magical Girls meets DBZ and Mecha.
So the thing about Symphogear is there's like 1 billion seasons.
Look, here's my method of watching anime. Does it have mecha? Does it have ninjas? Or does it have mecha ninjas? That's all I actually have wanted from anime my entire life.
Code Geass has mechas.
I've seen Code Geass. Not seen. I've seen like, you know, it appear in places. So I'll check it out on your recommendation. Absolutely. DS says, "Yo Nux, I've been simping for Silver Spoon to my friends for years. Can you give a comment?"
Silver Spoon's really good. I mean, don't sell it on what it is though, because you tell people, an anime about farming. You see, people aren't so excited about something like that. It's a good show, good characters, you know.
Yeah, you had me until you said the word farming, and I immediately tuned out. It was amazing. Gay and still at large says, "Rackets, don't ask any questions. Just read this as enthusiastically as possible." Yes, I'm Nick Ricada. I'm everyone's winning son. Okay. I don't know what that means. Nux Simp 0034 says, "As an advocate for true gender equality, I find it interesting that feminists went after Project Melody. When you have a 3D avatar, all you have to focus on is the personality. Exactly what women have begged for years to accomplish."
Yeah, as you can see, Melody has only personality on her streams. There's nothing else there at all.
Nothing at all. Yeah.
Although Melody does have a great personality.
What? How big is her personality? If you had to guess.
I was referring to her actual personality.
Look, I was referring to what they said to my mom when she joined the drill team back in like the 70s or whatever. Girls, you must have big personality. They actually used to say that in high schools. That was great. That was back in a time that was better for life, I think. Michael Rule says, "Hello from the Netherlands. Since you mentioned Taylor Swift, I'd like to recommend the Russell Greer stream to Nux. Also, Nick, when are you going to watch Saga of Tanya the Evil?" What the hell is that?
That is an anime about a dude who, you know, your average everyday guy, and he falls in front of a train, and as he's about to be run over, he hears like the voice of God whisper to him, and he gets reincarnated into an alternate universe as a little lolly soldier who fights in wars and shiz, and constantly battles against this godly voice saying, "I don't believe in God," while this clearly omnipotent seeming being is controlling everything that's going on.
When you say little soldier, is there a specific type of soldier that this involves?
She did sort of seem Nazi-oid, but no comment.
Oh, damn it. AGK says, "Rate me Nux. Top 2 favorite anime: JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Stardust Crusaders, and Battles in Egypt, and Sakamoto Desu GA. Completely straight with a wife, by the way."
So, as a huge fan of JoJo's, I respect it, and I think Sakamoto is a hilarious show. But top 2 of all time, I don't know. That might be pushing it for Sakamoto.
What are your top 2 anime of all time?
Gintama and Berserk. Well, Berserk mostly manga. Berserk's mostly manga. If you wouldn't include manga, I'd say Code Geass.
What about what about Garo Vanishing Line?
What?
I don't know.
It's not even top 100.
It's been recommended to me by a friend, so I was just asking.
Enjoy.
Okay. He just said he punches a giant tit monster in the first episode, and that made me laugh, so I don't know.
Yo, tit monsters get slapped everywhere.
Can you do me a very quick favor? I hate to do this, but I drank a lot of whiskey. I gotta run to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be right back. If you could just fill like 30 seconds.
Yeah, all good. I will serenade the chat. Hello, chat. I have taken over. It is all according to plan. My entire life has led to this moment. All right, what are we doing, guys? Guys, what are we doing in chat right now? How are we taking over? Yo, everyone in chat, just say woke is good. Woke is good. Woke is good. And just like chant it so that when he comes back and looks at chat, he freaks out. It's going to be great. He loves that. He loves that. It'll be great. It'll be funny. He'll come back. look at it and be like, Nani? And there we go. He wanted to get flexed on. So perfect. Everyone just preach. Yes, yes. As a big fan of cults, I completely commend everything that is going on here. Yes! Dude, you guys are amazing. You're absolute legends. This is going to be funny. Just keep it spamming. Keep it spamming. Don't give up. Don't give up. It'll be funny. Yo, can you imagine someone actually comes into the stream right now with no context and sees the chat? They're going to actually lose their minds. They'll look at the chat and freak out. They're like, what kind of cult did I just walk into? Yo, that's hilarious. Oh my god. I'm waiting for the reaction. He said 30 seconds. You guys need to keep it up. Don't give up. Yeah, so that's why I've come to this conclusion. And yeah, so that's I'm glad chat seems to agree. That's my assessment.
Wait a minute.
Oh, you're back. Hey, how's it going, man?
It's great, and I feel really terrible for doing that. Although the last time I did that to someone, I didn't come back because I was hugging the toilet. It was really embarrassing. But I come back, and the chat is just spamming "woke is good." What the hell happened?
That's what we were talking about. How all in all, despite its faults, wokeism in general, it's a wonderful thing. Chat agrees.
Wait a minute. Okay, I guess black pill me on this real quick because I don't understand. I don't get it. I see. I disagree inherently, but I'm willing to be convinced.
Okay, so what just happened was something that you requested, and you just got flexed on.
Okay, so there
we go. That's what it is.
It's never gonna stop. This is gonna continue forever.
Probably. It'll probably be your next stream as well. Just early warning.
God damn it. All right. Well, I'm with you.
Can you imagine someone tuning into the chat right now and seeing it looks like a freaking cult?
There's no limit to the amount of good wokeness happening. It's great. It's great. Maybe Marvel will sign my show now.
Hell yeah.
The doctor says, Nux, what did you think about the Wano arc in One Piece so far, especially about one particular sad scene?
So far, it's pretty fire, and Odin is one of the greatest characters in One Piece, even though, despite that the manga has almost 1,000 chapters right now, he was only in, like, the last 20, 50, he was in the span of 20 chapters, and he's already one of the best characters in the whole story.
I don't get One Piece. Because, like, I look at it, and I hate the visual style of it. Just, inherently repulsive to me.
Understandable. But it's something you'll get used to, like, if you give it a shot.
You kind of get over it then? Is that the idea?
Yeah, like, I think that a lot of people that didn't experience anime when they were younger, they're going to see these 2D, characters on screen and be like, why don't they have noses? Like, I mean, I think that many art styles, it takes getting used to.
Yeah, it's at first I thought like I didn't realize how popular One Piece was when I first saw clips of it. I was like, what is this? This looks like some kid drew an anime. And I hated it. And then I started to realize how popular it was. I was like, this must be intentional, and that's weirder to me.
One Piece is probably the greatest story I've ever read.
Really?
Like, it's actually insane that over a span of 1,000 chapters, and it keeps, like, escalating. It keeps your attention. Every arc is amazing. Like, the foresight that went into some endeavor like this is insane.
Now, are we talking about the manga or the anime?
I'm talking about the manga. The pacing is better in the manga.
Okay, but how's the? Because I've never seen the manga. Although I assume the art style's got to be somewhat similar.
Yeah, the art style's the same.
Okay. But the anime, is it like good still? Is the anime good, or is it not worth doing?
The anime is good until a certain point where, like, it almost catches up to the manga, so it it slows down, adds many more filler episodes.
Right.
So I would suggest the manga experience, but the anime is good.
CE says woke is good. Stooge Muffin Stuffin says, Razafon is a slept-on mech series. Also, Macross is greater than Robotech. Also, I have no hope for the Netflix live-action Cowboy Bebop. Wait, what did you just say? What heresy is this? Is this a thing?
Yeah, Netflix live-action Cowboy Bebop. Spike Spiegel played by Brie Larson.
Come on. Who's actually playing Spike Spiegel?
I have no idea. I have no clue.
I hated you for just a moment. Because I thought for a second that might actually be true. And I was like, damn it. They're going to do like an all-female Cowboy Bebop, and I'm going to hate it. Except for Faye Valentine, who will be a fat female-presenting man or something. Every time I think about it, I want to game end myself, is the finishing of that chat. God, I don't want a live-action Cowboy Bebop. Although I heard that Spike was based on a particular Japanese actor. Like his whole character and demeanor was based on a particular guy.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Damn it. Salty Pretzel says, Nux educating Nick on anime. How will Nick educate Nux, a total weeb, on 40K? Simple. Tell him about Commander Farsight.
Oh, no.
Do you know anything about 40K?
No.
Warhammer 40K. I love it. This is all Warhammer 40K back here. I love it. But yeah, Commander Farsight is fantastic. The Tau are a race of turbo weebs inside a grim gothic sci-fi universe. And they have...
I feel like that's what I am. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm a turbo weeb in a graphic sci-fi universe.
They're also space communists. So
Hell yeah.
It's perfect for you then. You would love them.
Amazing.
You can get into the Warhammer 40K fandom and immediately lose all of your money buying minis to build. Well, man, that's the big chats that I have. I go through and read all of them, but it is 1:30, and so I know that these streams do get long. So I wanted to let you know that I'm gonna read all the rest of the chats now. And if at any time you need to buzz out, please don't feel like you have to hang around.
I do appreciate it. It's actually 2:30 for me.
Right. Yeah, I know you're in the Eastern time zone. So
yeah.
So that's yeah. So if you want to take off, you are fully welcome to.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, man. This was really fun.
Yeah, this is great chat. Let me know if you ever want to do it again, or if you ever want to talk about if any legal issues come up in the anime sphere. Please shoot me a DM. But I really
nice to get to know you.
Yeah, good to get to know you too. I really appreciate you coming on. And thanks a bunch, man. It's been a blast.
Same here. Take it easy.
All right, man.
Enjoy the Phillies.
Yeah, thanks. Yes, thanks. And woke is good. Great. My life is perfect now. Thank you.
I had to come up with a really quick catchphrase before you come back. The first thing that came to mind.
It was worthy. It was worthy. All right, man. I'll let you peace out.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Take it easy, man.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one, buddy. Bye. Oh my goodness, that was a fun show. Nux is great. Great to get to know him. Let me fix the chat window just a little bit. Guys, go check out Nux's channel. It is in the description. Make sure you go get some anime of culture and distinction. And some good recommendations from him. So I am going to go through, if you're new to the channel here, I do go through and read every super chat. And so I will answer them as best I can. If they were for Nux, I apologize. He was on kind of a limited time tonight. And so I wanted to make sure and get through the show topics. And we did that. And then of course, reading chats that came in. So here we go with the rest of them. For those of you who don't hang around for it, I will be on Twitch. We're doing RoboCop 3 watch party after this stream. So when this stream ends, be on Twitch TV, twitch.tv/Arcade Media, watch party of RoboCop 3. We will be doing that tonight, and probably a second movie. If I can get through these chats quick enough, it'll be a fun time. So, all right, let's do this. Bad Dragonite says, yo, Nux, been a fan for a while. Just 2 questions. Damn it. When are you going to stop being a simp and make the honest descriptions of the Hokage video already? And what's your chaos god of choice? Angry one, fat one, smart one, or hentai one? Have a great night. I think we all know. I think we all know. He picks fat one. That's what he picks. Kit says, I like my cute anime girls just fine as it is. Thinking about it ruins all the fun, so I'll be skipping this stream. Have a pint on me, though. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You should check it out. It was a fun discussion anyway. Night of Hopex says, you're way more charming when you're using your regular speaking voice, Nux. I wish your YouTube persona wasn't that shrieking sarcasm pitch. I think you would have been much more successful in the long run just being yourself and coming off genuine like this. Well, damn, he's very successful now, so it's hard to say. Rise Up, the election was fraud, says As Kermit. Listen here, you degenerate weebs. Your gods are false. Corone is the only true path for humanity, and all others shall be purged for the heresy they represent. Yubby, yubby. What is yubby, yubby? What is yubby, yubby? I don't even know what that is. Bad Dragonite says, get this man in touch with Dollhouse Phil. Like, that seems like a dangerous... That's like... Again, that's like putting a bag of holding inside of a portable hole. It seems like it would create a rift in the universe. King Harless Butterlord says, for anyone that missed it, Yubi? Oh, sorry. Yubi. I will fix my pronunciation. Yubi. I hear that's a finger. And if you know me, it goes in the pork stink. King Harlos Butterlord says, for anyone that missed it from Crumb's stream, Vic Mignogna is willing to do work for fan projects like voice acting or audiobooks. Just know that he is a professional and expects to be compensated as such. If you have a project, send him an email. Let me add to that. Part of the professionalism aspect that he's talking about likely refers to how far along your project is. If you go, hey, I have a project that I'd like to do at some point in the future, don't send him an email. If you have a project that's ready to go to voice editing or voice acting and editing, send him an email at that point. That's a good pitch. But if you pitch at some point in the ephemeral future, I would love to do a project with you. Not the best. Okay, next. Also, you guys should go check out the Knuckleheads podcast that had Vic Mignogna on it. Night of Hopex says, there are many male VTubers now. Some of them are femboys, hollow stars. Some of them are spoken word entertainers the same way as the others, especially the Ninja Sanji Company ones. Yes, one is a guy played by a girl, but without a voice changer, Tamaki. Okay. Night of Hopex says, Nick goes back to a list of horrific topics because his audience gravitates towards shock and awe. There's an unlimited amount of content in it. If he really cared about depression, he wouldn't spend so much time depressing the rest of us who come here. No, I'm sorry, man. It's the world that I have to live in, so I drag you with me. Night of Hopex says, for the record, reincarnation is why incest is a fetish in anime. Oh, that's interesting. If your lover from another life is reincarnated as your cousin, yeah. Also, Japan is an authoritarian society. They allow it because if you actually perpetrated, they'd throw the book at you. By the way, does Ty still not believe me that this is a sham process? Expecting that statement of regret any day now. All good, just teasing. No, but really, what a shit show. There's now no limit on how ugly and vicious the system now becomes. F me, dude. No, the election stuff, and that's why we didn't talk about it today. The election is a nasty area right now. Speaking of that, we'll be talking about it tomorrow because that's where the nastiness will go. But I wanted to stay away from it for this stream. Meximan and Chi says, it's funny to think the MSM has spent millions trying to figure out how to fake the authenticity you guys have with your audience. Truth is, it's impossible to fake. It can do it a little at a time, not for hours a day, all week. Well, they should be able to because they should have enough people to fill those hours. The problem is they don't know how. They've never had to. They just buy their way into your living room and have built themselves on decades of credibility that they're cashing in at every moment. They've never had to actually earn your voice because there were only 4 voices that existed. Not earn your voice, earn your attention through their voice. There are only 4 voices that existed. You go on YouTube, there's a million of us. There's a million YouTubers in a million different subgenres and spaces, and each space has tons of people. So we have to try to earn your views. CNN, Fox, MSNBC. There's 5 news houses in the entire world, guys. There's 5 news wires. There's CNN, Associated Press, Reuters, Fox, and NBC. All of the news in the entire world comes from 5 places, and everybody else just republishes it on a weird license. Maybe someday we'll talk about that. There's just 5 of them. On YouTube, there's a million. There's a million. They don't know how to do it. They've never had to. It was just money, always. Changus Khan says, Nux, Fudo with or without balls? He said no balls. I'm very depressed. Changus Khan says, in Kermit's voice, Nux, I'm disappointed in you. Fudo with balls are clearly the superior she-male, you heathen. Dungeon Master says, almost choked on my drink and died hearing the phrase authentic ball slapping. Good times, 10 out of 10, would almost drown again. Night of Hopeback says, if you're someone who thinks new anime is the only thing that matters, give Urusei Yatsura. Yatsura, there you go, a try. I've been watching it with a buddy and I'm continually falling in love anew with the artist Takahashi and her work. Tremendous. Malik Foxon says, yo Nux, good to see you still flexing on YouTube. Funny. My anime list. And now Nick, this is a fantastic stream and probably one of my most wanted collabs. Now we just need to get Nick on to be on an episode of EFAP and all my ships will sail. Also, woke is good. Hey, Malik, you traitor. You traitor. Ed Gein's annoyed face says, remember when I recommended you put your super chat rules in the description? Good job pissing off your new guests. You didn't even mention the rules. You've beclowned yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But would they read them in the description? I'll add them to the description. I just haven't gotten around to it. I just haven't gotten around to it. I'm sorry. Let's see. I like the Spike Man says, hoping my phone call helped this stream happen. I don't know if it did or not, but it was great. Random Blaze says, the amount of reeing from the Democrat side is starting to get interesting. Did you see AOC calling for a list of Trump supporters so they can potentially go after them? Yes. The election is getting more interesting by the day. By the day. Ron Elm 2000. There aren't super chat rules, but based on the volume of super chats and the fact that I read all of them, I read the $20 plus ones first. It started back in May of last year, April or May of last year, when there were just too many chats. The idea was to reduce the volume of chats coming in by consolidating them into higher amounts, and that's the rule. And I don't like talking about super chats because there's always like, oh, he's asking. I never ask for them, but if they're there, this is the order that I read them. So everybody loves Gav says, Lord Nux, since you are blacklisted by Funimation and ANN, what is your honest opinion on the Vic scenario? Have you read any of the court documents and vids? I didn't ask him this. I probably should have. Maybe another time. Lagging has joined at the paralegal level. Thank you, Lagging, for joining. Quacky Boy says, Nux and Nick. Love both of you guys. Mario Kart 13 says, now Nick has failed No Nux November as well. I did. Fac Uniga says, Nick asked Nux to explain to you why the illustrious Lord Twigo-sama is the best hentai protagonist. I don't know if I want to know. Thedius says, woke is good, oak is wood, dough is food, Google is rude, bacon is good, hope is boob, or something like that. It seems like a Gallagher skit. Thedius. Cesario JPN, welcome to the paralegal level as well. Thank you so much. Decidia Maniac says, sup Nux. Fenrir Lyko says, Nux, please say Za Worldo. Za Worldo. The Fat Man 56 says, Chakra FE Nick, Lord Nux. Okay. Rock Spirit says, praise Lord Nux, the ultimate hentai master. Uriah Wright says, it's a Gundam can tell you how bad Twitch is. I'd love to talk to Gundam sometime. He seems like a hilarious dude as well. Joe Crazy says, my favorite weeb and favorite boomer finally on the same stream. One of the top 10 anime crossovers. Ooh, I hope to be on a list. Just not AOC's list. Angry Baneling says, so I want to transition, Nick 2020. Yes. Zawarudo. That's not what they wrote. What's Zawarudo? What does that mean? What is Zawarudo? The doctor says, Nux, you're an amazing friend that all people should have. Shan Ryder says, Nux, have you ever watched Level E? It's the forgotten middle child by the legend who made Hunter x Hunter and Yu Yu Hakusho. Laughing Kuru says, awesome to see you here, Nux. If I may, I recommend inviting the EFAP crew to react randomly to random anime stuff. They don't know much of it, so go nuts. Lol. It's a JoJo reference. Zawarudo is the world, a JoJo reference. Okay, thank you. Joe Crazy says, Nick Recato, world's first V-lawyer. Look. I'm not saying I'm above it, because I'm not. Not above it at all. Ulthane says, idea, we need a VTube setup for Nick Recato where he is Phoenix Wright. Can't do that. That would get DMCA'd hard. Something similar in the style of Phoenix Wright would be okay, but actually being Phoenix Wright would be a mess. Rekka Wronghouse says, I feel for Melody a lot because I'm dealing with an old friend trying to attack my image by lying about me and telling my friends to stop hanging with me. Dude, that sucks. Very sorry to hear that. Samurai Zenji says, with Biden's bully hunter plan, I guess you can't in the future make fun of Mrs. Ron Toye and the Rial the whale. Gotta go easy on them while Ron brings Rial's gunt on a snack tray for you two to make fun of. Look, I have to go much easier on Ron than Monica goes on Ron's anus. I have to go way easier than that. So it's not fun. Rekka Rongha says, by the way, Nux is best YouTuber hands down. You're okay, Nick. Look, I'll take it. I'll take okay. The doctor says, Billy. David Bouncer says, Elijah Craig, 18-year, best single barrel is best. Fight me. I would never. I want to try it. Homesteadive says, do you know Pecora? Nope. Masako Y. Masako Y says, my favorite parasocial friendship is with Nick. Mr. Medicare is a close second. Gemini Samimi. Hey, how relieved were you, Masako Y, to see that Jim was tweeting again? I was relieved. I thought he died. I thought he was dead, and I'm glad he's alive. Gemini Samimi says, sometimes it takes a man to be best girl. Alan Rogers says, anime is for pedos. Damn. Halo Millennium says, Supersonico was a VTuber at one point. She stopped uploading over a year ago, I believe. Balls Monkey says, anime killed the progression of animation in the West. Well, that's good, because animation progression in the West was garbage. It went from great things like Transformers to Steven Universe, and we can all undo that part of our lives. Cullen Care, thank you for the donation. George H says, Katakawa did a couple of videos with Uzaki-chan as a VTuber. The main dude of her anime also does commentary sight unseen. Luminaire says, animatronics are not there yet. Oh, Nick, you naive man. I said I haven't seen them. I can't imagine them being there, but I guess there could be lots of wriggling. So who knows? Revuel Arvida says, are we talking about Masterpiece, the animation? I Hate Yankee says, speaking of Ashley Madison, isn't it really funny how the scandal went away when people started finding .gov email addresses in the leaks? Well, and also the fact that you could just sign up with any email address and it'd be in their database. But yes, that was hilarious with it. The last says, question for Nux, do you think SJW well co-op anime industry and ruin it like Western comics and video games? Look at what happened to Sony. He's not here, but I'll answer yes. Yes, anime is on thin ice. Sony bought Crunchyroll, which means Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll, two of the largest distributors of anime. And if Sony's smart, they will make anime PlayStation exclusive. I don't know why they haven't made Crunchyroll and Funimation properties PS5 exclusive yet. Get rid of the stupid Crunchyroll and Funimation subscriptions and put them on the PlayStation store. That's what I would have done already. Because if I was a corporate hack. Mario Kart at 13 says, Mom, you have Tig Bitty girlfriend at home. Eric's Neil 20 says, why is there incest, hentai, and anime? People don't think about it. It's not a reflection. People just simply go with it. Revuel Arvita says, Nux, can we talk about Mira Tsubakihara from Masterpiece the Animation? Eric's Neil 20 says, better question. How did the Human Centipede become so popular? A meme and got 3 sequels. That's simple. People bought the first one and the second and then the third, and they stopped buying the fourth. Marv Alice says, nuns, impossible situations. Historically, this is very inaccurate. Slutty nuns are canon for real life. Guys, go watch Nude Nuns with Big Guns. Go watch that it's on Amazon. Enjoy. Kyle Robertson says in lemon voice, Sweet Home Alabama, where the skies are so blue. Sweet Home Alabama, Lord, I'm coming home to you. Ishizoku Culture 420 says, what is Nux's favorite girl from Interspecies? Also, please, lemon voice my name. Ishizoku Culture 420. JJ Death says, Nux on Rekida's stream, what timeline is this? The best. Truly tremendous timeline. Truly tremendous timeline. Really the best timeline. You won't find... Look, you're not going to find a better timeline anywhere. Cynic in Chief says, JMK's favorite simp site is called OnlyFam. No! No! Oh, come on! The doctor says, for Nux, what do you think of the Wano arc of One Piece so far? Eric's Neil 20 says, speaking of Ecchi, I'm a hardcore Ecchi manga anime fan right now. I'm reading World's End Harem, brilliant manga with talented art. Real Spider Phantom says, thank you for Nux and Nick. Now we need Melody and Drex. I would love to have Melody and Drex on a show, but I don't have a line to Melody. I can reach out, but I don't, it's always hit or miss on whether reaching out works. Legato Starwind says, thankfully, Media Blazers has purchased a license from Funimation for Interspecies reviewers. The Blu-ray box will be on Righted Tough Anime next year. Okay. The affiliate says, Nick, when are you going to join Nux on Among Us with his V-girlfriends? Whenever, man. That sounds like a blast. Andrew War Snowboard says, don't be ridiculous, Nick. Anderson Cooper gladly plays for Cox Communications. Oh, come on. Damn it. Omega Zero. Yeah, I know. Sony is terrible about censoring anime. I agree they're acting like another Harmony Gold. I'm just saying, if I were Sony, that's what I would do to push PS5 sales and to push PlayStation Plus subscriptions. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's good for anime. That's what Sony should do to make money. It'd be terrible for anime. Sony is bad for anime. Funimation is bad for anime. Crunchyroll is now, by extension, bad for anime. You know, it'd be great for anime? Someone like Nux Taku, teaming up with, like other guys like Hirohei or whatever, pooling together and opening a studio. That would be great for anime. That would be fantastic. Synapse says, a current example of this influence, Hololive's Mori Calliope got Billboard #1 worldwide for a couple musical genres within a month of release of her EP. Of course. Yes. Yep. Omega Zero, never apologize for caps lock. If you're not yelling at me, I'm not doing my job right. Cam Chaos God says, Nux, it's amazing to see you on, dude. And thanks, Nick, for having him. My pleasure. We had a great chat. I'd love to talk to him again. Also, to my bro seeing this tomorrow, cheers, dude. Get Wrecked says, Raggets, when we getting an Among Us stream full of lawyers? I don't know. That would be a disaster. Stabby McStabswood says, I had to quit watching Penguin Zero after he made a video shaming right-wingers for not wearing masks in Target when BLM was looting and burning Targets the previous week. I used to have respect for him. Look, I didn't see that. I mean, maybe. And if he has a shit take, he has a shit take. I like his stuff that I've seen. Mario Kart 13 says, suddenly buy. Time to sell, sell, sell. Polio64 says, hashtag Maidengate. Gunnar Renee Oy says, I think anime still is mainly for kids and nerds in Japan, but manga is definitely something that's perfectly normal for a salaryman and woman to read. And I think manga is really taking over Western literature as well. Ron Type says, for Nux, damn it. How much do you know about Lost Pause and the Anime Man drama? Just remembered this during the talk about YouTube drama. Coltrane says, Nux, Fujitora versus White Bread. Those devil's fruits would make for a crazy prolonged fight and could quite literally rip the world apart. D-Man Dog 056 says, Nick, I recommend Suntory Toki or Shinobu whiskey. I haven't had the Suntory Toki. I've had the Suntory. Is the Suntory Toki the Harmony? That Suntory Harmony. That was good. I don't think I've had these two. No One Important says, with my two most favorite chaotic YouTubers together like this, I need to donate. Also, both are drinkers, funemies, toxic to rude people, and for free speech. Nick equals Nux. No, look, I can't ventriloquate in real time like that. The doctor says, as a Tennessean, I resent that. Noir777 says, Nux, since you're here on Nick's stream, what's the best brand of hot sauce? My favorite is local Alabama brand called Alabama Sunshine. Mine, I don't know what Nux likes, but mine is, oh my gosh, Matooks. Salsa Picante. It's a hot sauce out of Trinidad and Tobago. It's beautifully hot, but very flavorful. Matooks, Matouks. Matooks. Timothy Reaper says, Kermit voice, a pig is fine too. James Valdez says, Vulcan lives, motherfucker. I love Vulcan. I'm waiting. I've got a salamander. This Ultra Smurf here. I've got a salamander coming. Salamander cooming even. Pyredor says, can Nick please be featured in the next Gentai dubbing? Asking for a friend. Cal Clay says, Nick, you seen Gundam Boblack's vid? He claims to own her body. No, I haven't seen it. Nux, Gaia's vid was okay. The show didn't need movie. Brings me to tears referring to Friends. Xander Kaiser says, Kaho Shibuya is on Twitch. Tet says, to heck with banning Loli Shota, ban the ugly bastard tag and K-pop. Okay. What's the ugly bastard tag? I don't know what that means. Cal Clay says, Nick, watch Bible Black with Drex and see his reaction. That would be very, very funny. Very, very funny. Oh, where'd we go? Oh, No One Important says, Nux, please bring Nick on for your next dubbing vid. Cal Clay says, Onizuka, but have Roshi as Onizuka. Comedy gold note. Like Roshi from Dragon Ball? That could be funny. Ron Type says, I haven't watched Onizuka, but I know the premise. That could be very funny. Let's see. Ron Type says, Gintama did more justice to Star Wars with few of its parodies than Disney Star Wars trilogy. Kayan is the coolest mech ever. Yoshken says, lawful evil and chaotic evil together at last. Yoshken, sorry. Jasmine Salter says, I think having an outlet through fiction or artistic expression helps keep people away from actual crimes, because those crimes are partially caused by repressing dark urges that all humans possess. See, that's an argument I've seen. And the hardest part about these topics is that getting data on it puts people in danger. And that's the problem. So it's a conundrum where we want data to see if that's actually right, but getting the data puts people in danger, and specifically children. So it's a tough place. Eric's Neil 20 says, I think Lollies does not make pedos, but it does distract them from the real thing. I hope so. I hope it distracts them. I don't, suffer not the pedo to live. Ron Type says, an anime on Allegory SJW gets booted out of a safe space because of losing privileges and ironically serves to preserve such space. Cross Ange. Sergeant Politeness says, Rurouni Kenshin and Paranoia Agent Nick, enjoy. I watched Samurai X. That was the prequel to Kenshin, right? And I liked that, but then I found out that Kenshin doesn't kill people, and I got sad. It's very sad. Rekka, don't apologize. Don't apologize. I take it all in fun. Cal Clay says, have seen both Cyber 6 Western anime. Please watch. Never heard of it. Eric's Neil 20 says, Black Lagoon does have a second season and a Roberta worth of spinoff. It's awesome. Is awesome, but at the same time is very depressing, like action depressing. Montabond 8 says, sad to say this is the first live stream I've caught of yours, but I plan on watching in the future. Love the content, and Nux is a great guest. Cheers. Oh, I hope to disappoint you in the future, but welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you. John Cook says, Coco did a 4.75 hour long request karaoke stream the other day. She could barely sing. Nick, when is your 5-hour karaoke stream? Real talk. Real talk, heart to heart with you guys. Singing live is the most terrifying thing for me ever. I would rather get into a wrestling match with the Mountain than sing live. Like, it's so, I don't know why. I sing all the time when I'm by myself, but live, it's horrifying to me. I don't know why. Andrew War Snowboard says, a lot of what Nux is saying about his YouTube channel really sounds analogous as to why Comicsgate was started. SJWs are the worst. #hail. Andrew, you should check out Nux's channel. It's great. It's great. Backout says, ask Kermit, hi ho, King Daddy, the Grift here. Let's send it over to Drek so we can learn numbers. Archangel Nishan says, hey Nux, tell Nick all about Peter Grill. I'm curious now about Peter Grill. Sing you don't have the votes. No. Jonathan Ferrier says, Nux, if you had to choose Strike Witches or Girls und Panzer. Keck7 Go says, in your best Nux voice, woke is good. I can't think of how to do his voice. I'll work on it for you, Keck. I'll work on it for you. Ramon Del Rio says, woke is good. Werex says, vote Evan on 7. Get Wrecked says, woke is good. Culture says, what about crowdfunding among YouTuber and VTuber fans to purchase anime license from Soini and hire Vic? Nick and Drek should take a look at Emergence 177013. Look, I would unironically love to crowdfund and purchase an anime license. The hard part is getting to the licensor. That's the hardest part of it, is getting the deal and the arrangements with the licensor. It tends to involve, the Japanese don't do business over the internet with people they don't know very often. It tends to involve trips to Japan and connections that are hard to make. So, but you never know. You never know what could happen. Frederick Little says, another question for you both. Worst anime you've ever seen? Tokyo Godfathers, hands down. Nothing even comes close. I hated every second I was awake of it. Justin Wheeler says, hey Nick, listening to this and the lol suit stuff at work. Thanks for the hours of hilarity. Nux, thoughts on Barakamon or Spice and Wolf? Noir777 says, Nux needs to join you again when Drexel comes back. That'd be good. Austin Heartless says, Oak is good. I agree. The Doctor says, One Piece Film Gold is amazing, and Rogers Base agrees Nux must watch it. Look, I know people like Tokyo Godfathers. I loathe it. And you can like it all you want. It's not my thing. Remember, mecha ninjas or mecha that are ninjas. That's my anime system. Vienticus Prime says Spike was based on Yusaku Matsuda. Oh, very cool. Thank you. Silent Eric says One Piece has better world building than Lord of the Rings and 40K combined. True facts. Damn. Bold claim. Marv Alice says there was rumors of a Cowboy Bebop live action with Keanu Reeves as Spike. That would maybe be okay. This is back when Keanu was considered terrible at everything, by the way. Problem is, you notice Keanu doesn't move smoothly at all. He's got that limp and stuff. I don't know that he'd be able to pull off Spike. Kidda says, as part of a promo for the anime, they had the VA for Uzaki be a VTuber in character for a few streams. Oh, well, see, that's a licensed use of the property to promo it that way. Nix Hex says, in hybrid Kermit Lavoini voice, on this page, you see a little girl giggling at a hippopotamus. I wonder why. That's weird. Oh, God, I didn't like that. Austin Heartless says, Nux for Big Brain Panel, Weeb Edition. Angry Baneling says, look at that perfect beard and hair. Ask Lady Raggeds to take a picture of you today so that you know what you should look like every day. You know, Baneling, I went to get a haircut today, and I said, I just want to trim. I don't want to look like Richard Spencer anymore. I just want to trim. So keep some length all around and make me look sharp. And I think he did a pretty good job, right? I think he did a pretty good job. Then he sold me tamales. Because I literally go to the most Mexican barber ever. And I love him. He's great. I can't wait for him to start a YouTube channel so you guys can watch too. Nightmare FD3S says, glad I'm not the only one who hates Deku from MHA. He's a beta, and Nick, I agree, One Piece art style is repulsive. Angry Baneling says, oh, you want less chats? Screw you, pal. Don't tell me what to do. Woke is good. Damn. It's not that I want less chat. I want all of the chats. Let's be real. I am King Grifter for a reason. I love and adore all of the chats and want many, many, many of them. But just to get through the shows, I had to reduce. I had to recycle, reduce, reuse. Nix Hex says, I want to see PewDiePie blow out Tom Cruise. Look, I'm just saying. No lube, raw dog. Cal Clay says, why is ident twin porn legal to sell? Why shouldn't it be, I guess? Stooge Muffin 7 says, Joseph Gordon-Levitt would make a great Spike. Yeah, I think he'd be pretty good. He doesn't, again, not too many Americans would move well enough to be Spike. Call Me Mocha says, I skipped her chat. Where? I will find it. Call Me Mocha. No, we read it. We read it while Nux was still on. He actually commented on it. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he said the problem with Symphogear is. But the chat was, hey, Nick, first time sending a super chat ever. You and Nux should both watch Symphogear, a very unrated anime from 2012. It's basically Magical Girls meets DBZ and Mecha. And I said it sounds great. But I did read it, and Nux did comment on it specifically. I don't remember what he said the problem with Symphogear was. Oh, no, he said there was like 1,000 seasons of it. That was the problem. Yeah, that's right. But thank you. No, and yeah, I'm always happy to make sure I get a chat. If you think I missed one, please let me know. Let's see. Edris Rex says, hey, Rackets, sorry for canceling my Patreon. I'm trying to get away from all the election nonsense for a while. Here's the payment for the 3 months I figure it'll be before I re-up on it and get back to watching your stuff. Peace. Peace. Oh, Edris, thanks, man. You didn't have to cancel and do it this way. You could have hung around, but yeah, there will be some election stuff for a while. It's just too important and hot of a topic, and there's a lot of legal stuff that's coming in the next couple days with it. So sorry if it's not your cup of tea. I certainly understand. Night of Hopex says, oh, hey, yeah, I forgot to explain. The appeal of One Piece is that it's kind of a preservation of the late Showa era art and storytelling people loved about the original Dragon Ball. Oh, yeah, like Shonen? It says late Showa era, but I thought it was Shonen. I don't know. Yes, it's by a guy who can't draw, but is charming and has fun characters. Malik Foxton says, for Nick, Ugly Bastard is basically a genre where the one blowing the anime girl's back out is generally fat, bald, beady-eyed, greasy AF, old, and largely unattractive. Many times the plot led to uncon. Gross. Gross. So it's basically a VTuber's wet dream because they get to see themselves on camera. Night of Hopex says, or not a VTuber, a voice actor. Oh, shit, I didn't mean to besmirch the good name of VTubers. I meant a traditional anime voice actor. Big fat guy. Night of OPEC says, also, if you want to try some VTuber to see if you care for it, go look up Iron Mouse highlights or VTube Tengoku, translating some of the Hololive girls. I recommend Subaru playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Girl is having a blast. Puts a smile on your face. Night of OPEC says, oh gosh, don't put Nux and Drex on together. Drex would have Nux running faster than Killstream had Vito headed for the hills looking for anywhere to hide. Probably not a recipe for success. And then finally, Calclay says, gonna save Nux chat and use $3 Streamlabs next time he's on. Okay. Sounds good. All right, guys. That's it. That's it. We're only a little bit over the normal show length. Thank you all for joining me. Great guest. I never know how a guest is going to, how they're going to interact with me and how it's going to be. This is a great conversation. I really liked getting to know Nux. Would love to talk to him again in the future. Thank you all. If you're new here, please hit like and subscribe, all of that stuff. You know the drill. But come hang out, especially if you want to check out legal content and illegal. No, I'm mostly kidding. If you want to check out legal content, along with a bunch of fat jokes and anime references thrown in from time to time. So, thanks for hanging out, guys. Let's get I can play the outro for you. It's been a minute. And if you want to come over and watch RoboCop 3 with me on Twitch, and then something with a bunch of tits in it after that, come do so. We'll see you there. Have a good night, guys. Peace. Oh, Sarayo says, great stream, Nick, with Lord Flexor Nux. Wish Drex was there also. Also, thanks to you. Encouraged me to watch all the RoboCops in order. Woke is good. Just kidding. Damn. All right. Peace, guys. Peace.
Oh, he drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along with his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight. We'll hear some lost-splaining tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an art bag, a bow, more of love rug. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Doug T to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost-splaining tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law